I think every single person in this locker room is a competitor at the highest level. So, yeah, when you feel as if your back's against the wall, you never have to feel like you got to do it by yourself.
Unbelievable throw. Under pressure, sacked by Quinnen Williams. Right sideline, Gonzalez got it.
You look to your left and your right, you got guys out there with you that our whole point is to help each other.
This one to Mims. That's Corey Davis climbing the ladder.
To be able to go out and lead these guys, just to know how hard these guys work and how important it is to them, and then you get that chance to lead them. Everything that happened that needed to happen for us, it almost felt like kind of like a sign, like give it like a second chance almost.
Gets extra pushes, running left.
Maybe a little extra life breathing in the locker room.
Touchdown Jets.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I've got Green Bean to my this way. I have Mr. Matt O'Leary to my that way. Boys, how you doing tonight? Green Bean, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Dude, I'm in a great mood. I can't wait to find out why people aren't. I think this is a fantastic day. I'm going to have a fantastic night with my fantastic friends.
Ooh, Matt, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. The New York Jets finally had the trade go through. Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. We've been talking about it for a month. I'm excited to get into it today. Discuss winners and losers of a trade one day after it happens. You know, that's the best thing we can do at a time like this.
Boys and girls, if you're just hopping into the stream, make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy the content that you're watching here. And if you leave a comment down below this video after it airs, you're going to be entered into our t-shirt giveaway for the draft. And make sure you sub up our new Talkin' Jets channel. Link will be posted in the live chat. Nightbot's going to be spitting it out throughout the night. But I am oh so excited to get your thoughts, your feelings on this news that Aaron Rodgers is officially a New York Jet. The Jets trade number 13 for number 15. We give up number 42, and we give up a conditional pick next year, second round pick that could become a first round pick with 65% playing time. And then there was a sixth round, fifth round swap that happened as well. So the Jets moved up about 30 some odd slots into the fifth round. So Green Bean, I'm going to throw it to you first. How you feeling about this trade, and who do you think won it?
Well, I have a long-winded answer for you. I hope you're ready.
Let's
when
go.
When it first happened, I thought my initial thought was it was more than I expected, right? That was my initial thought. But the truth is that I think it's what we would call a pretty fair deal. Now, we're kind of spoiled around here with Joe Douglas. I mean, how many trades have we legitimately looked at, every which way we could and said, no, dude, this is a fleece. Like, he crushed them. Like, that's kind of how we're used to seeing our trades go down. This isn't that. I mean, we talk about all the capital that we gave. We swapped picks in the first, which has value, of course. We're not going to minimize it. At the same time, it's not that big of a deal. It's 2 spots. It's not 4. It's not 7. It's not 10. It's 2 spots. So that's one thing. The fifth, the 6th to the 5th is all Jets. And then we have the Elijah Moore second, which is obviously very valuable. And then a next year pick. But don't forget, we talk about, oh my God, we got Aaron Rodgers out of this. So it's Aaron Rodgers, a first, if you want to say we gave them a first, and a 5th round pick. And it's like, it's not that bad of a trade, but the Packers can also feel, in my opinion, like they did pretty well because look, we had Jets fans on Twitter. I mean, I'm sure you guys are seeing it. The attack from Packers fans. What happened to only getting a 4th or whatever? And it's like, I guess there was a lot of Jets fans, and I had to talk to a lot of them. They were thinking, we're going to this and we're only going to pay that. And I never thought that. I mean, I'd love it. I would have loved to only give a 3rd or a 4th or something, but I never thought that was going to be the case. This is right in the pocket, a little more maybe than I thought, but it's right in the pocket of what I thought should happen and would happen. The only thing I'll say, I thought that we would be able to get some sort of pick in the event he doesn't play next year, that we would get a pick next year. The fact that we didn't leads me to believe that Joe Douglas feels at least confident that Aaron Rodgers is going to play 2 years. Excuse me. So, I mean, we know there's no guarantees with Aaron Rodgers, but the one thing I will say, while he might be on the flakier side or, the more eccentric and eclectic side, the truth is that he's always played. Like, he's never retired and come back. He's never done the old Tom Brady. I'm retiring. They release all the videos on, A Football Life, Aaron Rodgers. Like, they've never done all that, and then he comes back. He just takes a minute. So it's like he's never retired. So, yes, this could be, for Packers fans, every year dealing with this could certainly get tiresome. I would see that. At the same time, I think he's more than likely going to play 2 years. That's what this looks like to me. And I don't really I don't feel nervous about it because it's nothing I can do about it. I mean, it's next year. And this year we have the best quarterback that we've had since Namath, guys. Like, there's no debating it. I loved me some Chad. Vinny gave us a couple great years. We had Fitzpatrick Miracle season 1.0, and that was it. You know what I mean? We've had some fun years, but this is real. We have the best quarterback that we've ever had, at least since Namath, potentially ever. And by the way, we happen to be missing a quarterback. So that's the whole thing. We could talk about fifths and next year's second and all that shit, 65%. The truth is we got Aaron Rodgers, and we didn't give up all that much to get him. And as far as the contract this year, we're paying Aaron Rodgers, and Ryan, you can elaborate on the details much better than I can as far as how that all breaks down. But we're paying him 15, or at least on the cap, $15.7 million. I'll remind everybody that's right around what they paid Odell Beckham for 1 year this year too. And he's already getting assault charges. So not too shabby. That's my feelings. I'm pretty happy, Ryan.
Ooh, Matt, how are you feeling about this whole trade?
See, I love listening to Green Bean talk because he has so many good points, but he steals a lot of my talking points. Green Bean nailed it, dude. That was awesome. No, so just to surmise like the main points that were my biggest takeaways, I think it was maybe like a touch more than we were anticipating, but not like a crazy amount. I was pretty much on the second rounder this year, conditional pick that could become a first next year. I didn't think it would also be the pick swap, which is really the equivalent of a late third round pick. I'm not going to cry over that. I think the Jets coming away with it, still having a pick in the first round and a pick in the second round this year, puts them in a good spot. And plus, like, you're hoping that the first rounder next year, which, like, let's be honest, he's more than likely going to play 65% of the games. If he does that, you're hoping that it's between picks 28 and 32 anyway. So, at that point, it's basically a second rounder. So, I'm more than okay with this. Oh, did they just get one? Fuck yeah, baby. 2-0 Islanders. Sorry. I'm double duty tonight. I got to do the post game. It's do or die time. Too much stimulation going on. 2-0 Isles. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jet.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I kind of fall in the same category as you guys. When I first saw the trade, I'm like, oh man, that's a lot more than I shouldn't say a lot more, but that's more than I thought it was going to be, because I felt like the Jets didn't need to get this trade done before the draft. It was the Packers, if anything, that needed to get this trade done before the draft, so that way they could surround Jordan Love with more talent. So in my opinion, I felt, hey, the Packers are going to have to offer us such a good trade package that it's worth it for us to pass on these players that we could be selecting. And I didn't feel like that was the case with this trade. And I can't help but think there were probably some sort of outside influences on wanting to get this trade done now before the draft. I don't know if that's the NFL. I don't know if that's like ownership or where that came from. Because when I was watching Douglas and Sal at their owners meeting press conferences, it seemed like they were very laid back. They had no concern whatsoever. They were talking about, oh, we don't care if it goes into training camp. We have a coordinator that, if a guy comes in that knows the offense, wink, wink, he doesn't have to be there right at the beginning of camp. We can get things done. And then this trade happens before the draft, and it's seemingly for less, or for more than what I think a lot of fans probably felt we were going to have to give up. when I look at the 13 and 15, sorry, when I look at the 13, one more time.
There he goes.
When I look at the 13-15 swap, my thought process kind of goes to, well, maybe this draft is a draft that we were looking to trade down anyway. And the thought process of going those 2 picks down, that allows the Packers to make this trade and feel comfortable about this trade. Maybe the Jets were going to move down anyway, and the slight 2-pick flip isn't quite as necessary or as impactful, but maybe it prevented us from giving up a 2024 third round pick or something like that by doing this little flip now. So I think there's some value there. I'm not going to lie. When I saw pick 42 included it instead of 43, I was like, really? Like, you couldn't have just like had given us the one aha moment. Like, come on, could have got that. And then the 65% playing time. We heard Woody Johnson doesn't want to give up an unconditional first. You did. It's an unconditional first. Do you see any situation where Aaron Rodgers, who has played every game for the last 5 years and I think 7 of the last 8 seasons, any situation where he's not going to play 65% of the snaps? So now you just have him starting and you're going to give up a first round pick, and it's not tied to the success of the team. Now, we are all confident that we're going to be a very good football team. We're deeper than we've ever been. We have a very good roster compared to where we've been in the past, and Rodgers immediately makes everyone else significantly better than they were just last year. And you know, it's I think fans should just be excited. I don't think you need to look at the trade compensation as critically as we were, because it's in a vacuum. You're thinking, okay, you know, maybe the Jets left a little bit of meat on the bone for this particular trade. But when you look at the big picture of things and you see what, you know, quarterbacks get traded for, Matthew Stafford got traded for a haul. Russell Wilson got traded. Actually, Matthew Stafford got traded for a haul. They gave up the quarterback and the 2 first-round picks. Then they you look at what Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson wound up getting traded for and the monster contracts they got. But by all accounts, it seems like Rodgers is probably going to rework his contract, and he's not going to get paid the monster contract that we all kind of saw initially, and that we're all going to like it a lot more than we otherwise maybe do at the initial point right now. And I'm excited to see what he winds up taking, because I think that's going to endear him to fans even more. Because I know there's like, I was a little salty about Aaron Rodgers when he signed his new contract with Green Bay last year. And I was like, I thought this guy wanted to win Super Bowls. This guy just like went for the jugular. I want all the money. But now it's like, okay, well, maybe he's going to rework his deal similar to like the Brady contract. I think Brady got 3 years, $25 million a year or something along those lines. If Rodgers takes $30 million a year or something along that, Jet fans are going to go bonkers. We're going to be so happy. And the fact that this guy might be here longer than just the 2 years is really enticing too. And we haven't really heard that side of things from Joe Douglas, but it seems like Connor Hughes is kind of indicating that it might be better than we initially thought. So Green Bean, any thoughts on what Matt or I just said right there?
Well, yeah, but my stream is a mess, Ryan. I'm going to have to reboot. I was just texting you. Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, I can see and hear you. You can reboot if you want. I'll flip it over to Matt first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm going to reboot. My bad.
Okay. Matt, how did you feel about this trade overall, and do you think that maybe some fans are blowing it a little out of proportion with the Jets overpaid for a 40-year-old quarterback or any of that?
Yes, 100% yes. It's the same thing that unfortunately we've been arguing with people for the last couple months, and I feel like it's a fringe. It's not the majority, but there are fans who are upset where he's, Green Bay didn't want him, they wanted to move on anyway, and now you gave up too much. And like, something that I've always said, and I'm going to stick to it here, if there was ever a time where you can get aggressive with picks, it's now, after literally having 5 picks in the first round over the last 2 years and 7 top 40 picks in the last 2 years. Like, okay, you gave up a second rounder and more than likely a first rounder next year. And like I said a couple minutes ago, if it's in the late 20s, who gives a shit anyway? That means the Jets are in the playoffs and winning playoff games, which is the goal, right? Like, they have the longest active playoff drought in all of sports, and they put their chips to the table and said, we believe we're a quarterback away, which last year showed you that. I mean, they won 7 games with the worst quarterback room in the league. Like, I don't get the disconnect with some of the fans. And, hoarding of the draft picks. It's not like they gave up the 2 first-round picks. Like, that might be a different conversation if it's multiple first, but it's not.
Matt, would you trade Zach Wilson straight up for Aaron Rodgers? Would you have done that?
Right now? Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, because we have drafted so many picks in the first round that have not worked out, and draft compensation be damned, we got a Hall of Fame quarterback because of it. And it's going to be the best quarterback that you or I have ever seen in a Jet uniform. And I think, it's one of those situations where don't worry about the assets long term. Let's go win a chip right now. We've got the young talent on rookie contracts. Go out and get the big name quarterback who wants to win a Super Bowl. This guy's going to get aggressive. Imagine how pissed off Aaron Rodgers is going to be when Jackson Smith-Njigba gets drafted by the Green Bay Packers at pick number 13 when he went there for friggin' 18 years and didn't have a wide receiver taken in the first round or even a tight end taken in the first round. Dude, he's going to be fired up, and he's going to be playing with 2 former first-round picks in Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis here.
Yeah, and he's going to have it, like you mentioned it, the chip on his shoulder is going to be huge with just proving people wrong. And you're so right. Like Jackson Smith-Njigba, I feel like you could almost write that one in ink for Green Bay, right? Like you need to get weapons for your young quarterback and Jordan Love to see what he is. And just, I mean, for the Jets, you're getting a motivated, pissed off Rodgers on a potentially reworked deal that's team friendly. Sign me up.
Yeah, this is everything you want. The more ways that Rodgers can get pissed off throughout this process, the better. Pour gasoline on that fire. I'm all about it. I know fans are a little like, I'm concerned about the expectations now. Jet fans are talking like they're already in the Super Bowl and they have confidence. Yeah, you know what? We have confidence because we've had such a shit team for so long. We haven't been able to have this type of excitement. And look, you gotta live in it. I am 100% gonna eat up every bit of Jets content that I could possibly consume because this is the best I have felt about a New York Jets team in a very, very long time. Not a very, very long time. I'll say 7-3 this past year was feeling pretty good.
Of course. Yeah.
And then, kind of train wrecked at the end there. What's your thought process? Like, what is the worst case kind of, maybe doomsday situation that could possibly happen in this particular trade scenario?
That they're a wild card team and have to go up against like the Chiefs in the first round and lose. Like that's maybe my worst case scenario. Like, I don't know. I think it would anything less than like 10 wins is a massive failure. But I think if this defense is anywhere close to what it was last year and Aaron Rodgers is healthy, and even if Aaron Rodgers gives you last year's numbers, right, which was 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, like he's getting that team last year to 10, 11 wins. So I don't know, man. I think the floor for this team is pretty high. They should break their playoff drought this year.
Yeah, Green Bean, how do you feel about this trade overall? Like, what's the worst case scenario maybe that could happen with the Aaron Rodgers deal or the trade, or basically what our next 2 years or this year could look like?
Worst case scenario is 2 Super Bowls. That's what the worst thing that could happen to us would be. Dude, I mean, like I just heard you saying it. Like this is an exciting time. And Jets fans that are finding a way to complain, like, look, with all due respect to everybody, right? Like we all have our feelings and everything. But dude, we got to lighten up, man. Like 42 versus 43. I don't know, man. Like, again, this is the best quarterback. And like you just said, the great thing about Aaron Rodgers, we're getting a pissed off Aaron Rodgers. That's what we like. He did it with his draft when he was snubbed in the draft. He thought the Niners were going to draft him first overall. They took Alex Smith, and then he slid all the way to the mid-late 20s, whatever the hell it was. Then when Matt LaFleur goes over to the Packers, new regime and everything. And what do they do with they trade up to draft his replacement. How does he respond? 2 back-to-back MVPs. And they never give him a weapon. Like you were saying, they never give him a tight end. They never give him a wide receiver, like premium. Yeah, they find a way to make these guys good and all that shit, but they've been relying on Aaron Rodgers being able to be Aaron Rodgers for the team. And like you said, if they go ahead and the first year they trade him, they just draft their first first round wide receiver. That's going to be even more. This is the exact version of him that we want. We want him to be pissed. We want him to be motivated to show the entire world. Dude, people talking about his slip, like, we had a Mumtaz, who I love, by the way. This is not a shot or anything, but he pointed out that he has a sub 40 QBR last year. Okay, well, that's the first time in his whole career that happened. But his down year that everybody's talking about was 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Dude, go back. I mean, the one Ryan Fitzpatrick miracle year is anomalous, and we got 3,900 yards, whatever. But he has a 65% completion percentage in his down year. Find that in the Jets' history. Just find that year for the Jets. You got Vinny Testaverde, you got fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, this is a beautiful thing, guys. We need to be able to find a way to be happy. This is what 9 out of 10 of us wanted. And even if you wanted Carr or you wanted Jimmy G or whatever, once that was gone, this is what we wanted. Everybody, except for Jets Forever, of course. He's like, Zach, whatever. And then fine, and then we know there's a little pocket of those folks too. But generally speaking, every Jets fan wanted this to happen. So you're pissed about a conditional second next year? That's the fucking linchpin for your happiness? Like, dude, we got Aaron Rodgers. We didn't give up a first-round pick. And if we do next year, great. More than likely, it's going to be one of the last first-round, the last 4 picks in the draft. It's a totally different thing than giving up 13. It's smart. Joe Douglas held to having his first this year. So he slides back 2 spots. Big whoop. Next year, the whole plan, and he said it numerous times in his press conference today, we feel confident. We always felt confident in our plan with Aaron. That was what they did. They didn't dance around too much. They explored Derek Carr. They looked around. Aaron Rodgers was the goal. They pulled it off. It took 2 months to do it. We did it, and we gave up a little bit more than we like. It's like, we paid $1.50 more for the buffet than we thought we were going to pay. Big whoop. You still got the buffet. Eat up. Have a good time. Party at the fucking cake stand.
Before we move into your comments, I do just want to rain a little bit on everyone's parade. Just a little bit. So when the Jets traded for Brett Favre, he was on an Iron Man streak. He wound up getting the Jets to 8-3. We were number 1 team in the NFL. High, rising. We're going screaming to the playoffs. And then he tears his biceps. Right. And it all gets derailed, and the Jets don't make the playoffs. Do you know what percentage 8-3 is? What percentage of games that is?
65%.
65%. In today's NFL with the 17th game, that's 64.7%. So we got to get to game 12 to pass that threshold. And look, Rodgers has been an Iron Man. I can't help but feel like absolutely terrified that first round pick is not tied to success and it's just tied to snaps. But dude, I'm just happy we have the quarterback. I'd much rather see Aaron Rodgers on half an arm than any quarterback we've seen in the last 10, 15 years play for the New York Jets. But yeah, I thought that 65% number just so happened to be a little concerning. I see Dane O is giving me some math. 8 divided by 11 is 72, bro. That's not the math we're working with here. We're going 11 divided by 16, bro.
That's right. Don't mess with Ryan and his numbers, homie.
It's okay. It's all right. Math is hard sometimes. Man. We got Ant Jets in the building. He says, I will ask Matt, since he broke the news to me, Matt, who's your quarterback?
Aaron mother effing Rodgers, baby. Let's go.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. I do want to bring up there was a comment that I saw earlier for, I believe it was Ian Rappaport that said the Jets have exercised Aaron Rodgers' option. They have created $43 million in salary cap space, which is not true at all. That's not actually what happened. Aaron Rodgers' bonus that he's talking about, that $60 million bonus, was always assumed to be exercised. Otherwise, the Packers would have wound up having a $60 million quarterback on their roster right now. And for cap purposes, they allow that to assumed to be exercised, and then it'll stay that low cap number so that way the team can make moves, other players can get signed, and then once they decline it, then it escalates to that really high $60 million cap number. when he was traded to the Jets, that cap number was always going to be low. The Jets were going to accept that bonus, but it does not actually create $43 million in salary cap space unless you're saying the Jets took on $60 million worth of like cap, and now we're like $60 million over the cap, and then they exercise and it comes back down to like the normal number that you would have had. So the Jets still don't have a lot of cap space by doing this trade or by exercising that option. But we're going to see how it factors in with this new contract too. So there's going to be, potentially much more favorable terms. I saw some great comments in here from 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐽 Jet fan. He says, I feel like I need to contact a doctor soon. It's been over 24 hours and I still have a chubby from this trade. He followed that up with, I told my wife I haven't been this happy in years.
Oh, boy.
Oh, zing. Andy comes in. Andy says, not crying over spilt milk about compensation. It's over, so no need complaining. Rodgers is our quarterback, and I'm not letting anything dampen my mood. Matt, is that how you're looking at this?
1000%. That's the smart way to look at it. It'd be like, yeah, we got this shiny new car, but I really was hoping to get a few dollars off the sticker price. I'm going to, be upset with it. They didn't throw in free oil changes with my new Ferrari. I'm pissed. It's silly.
You know what it almost feels like? I feel like all us Jet fans that are complaining about any kind of compensation after getting Aaron Rodgers, we're one of those friggin', we're one of the teens from, My Sweet 16 that gets a brand new car. And we're like, it's not the red Ferrari. I need the red one. I didn't want the yellow one. That's us right now. We're complaining.
Yeah,
just be happy
right.
you got
That's
the damn
exactly
Ferrari.
Right. That's a good.
we got the car.
Yeah.
Adam S. celebrates 27 months.
Do you remember that show? It was like spoiled 16-year-olds, like sweet 16s, and they would
My super sweet 16.
Yeah, that's what you just reminded me of. I hate it. It's a Maserati. I wanted the other color seat. And it's
I don't care.
Yeah, and they stomp away.
Yup.
Pain in the ass.
Adam S. drops in and says, it's a bargain. Aaron Rodgers for 2 or 3 years and teach for Zach. Yeah, look, this is a whole bunch of benefits. We're going on a Super Bowl run. Hopefully, maybe Zach turns into something good. If not, hopefully Rodgers stays as long as he wants and he plays till 45. That sounds fantastic to me.
Sure.
Ryan King drops in with a $50 super chat. We're going to skip over to you real quick, and then we'll go back to our other guys. I got Jetcast, Andy, and Matt on deck. Ryan says, Jets killed Antonio Brown's career when he walked off the field. Jets own Pat's next 2 years and send Bill to retirement. Let's fucking go. Freeze Ryan and Matt.
Oh,
a double.
All right, Green Bean.
A double freeze.
I'm just going to hang out by myself.
Green Bean, you get to talk.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. That's right. So look at them freezing. Ryan King, my beloved Ryan. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Not the frozen Ryan. Ryan King. So yeah, man. I mean, look, and I see Packers fans in there. It's okay for both sides to be happy. That's the thing that it's hard to understand. It's like, especially in sports and games, like one team has to win, one team has to lose. Therefore, one fan base is happy, one's not. It's okay. The silver lining for us is this. The proven commodity is coming here. The questionable commodities, draft picks. We love draft picks, so I'm certainly not minimizing the value of picks. I love draft picks. But let's be real. You don't know what they're going to be yet. We have no idea. We don't know what Jordan Love is. They have hope. They have reason to believe. That's all well and good. But the proven commodities coming here. We had a top 5 defense last year. We had the rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson, on offense. I think we got a pretty good deal too, man. I'm not too upset about it. How you guys feeling?
I'm a little chilly, but man, I would love to see Bill Belichick never win a game against the Jets ever again. I want to see him I think he's got to get 9 wins a year for the next 3 years to get the all-time wins record. I hope they don't get to 6 wins. Like, I want them to just be miserable, and he's just going to get so beat up over the next few years, and he's just going to have to walk away and not get the win record. That would make me feel a little better over, the one thing he really wants. We're going to take that from him. Green Bean, is that how you kind of feel? Maybe a little bit?
Well, dude, look, I was, Mr. Bucks Nation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that guy, he came on the stream before and he's like, "Hey, I just want to say congratulations." And I said, "What a nice fan! Like, he's a good dude. I met him at the
I really
Senior
like
Bowl. We
Mr.
hung
Bucks
out.
Nation.
He's
a
a
dude.
good guy." And I said, I just really wish I was that kind of fan. I'm not. I root for pain for everybody else. I fucking really do, man. I hope the Packers completely implode. I want to see Matt LaFleur fired. I want to see Jordan Love relegated to the Sam Darnold zone. Like, that's what I want to see. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. Who knows? It's going to take a minute, I'm sure, even if it does. But I'm with you. I want to see a 3-14 team. That's what I want to see. I want to see Packers fans. They have no idea what it's like to not have a Hall of Fame quarterback. They deserve to suck, dude. They deserve it, especially how they've been handling themselves. A bunch of whiny, crybaby, uppity. You know what I mean? Most of them, not all of them. There has been a few cool ones.
Greenbean, tell us how you really feel.
I hate everybody. I really do. I really do.
I love it. Matt, how you feeling? You think we're going to end Bill Belichick's career and he's going to lose all these games to the Jets now?
I mean, that would be very off-brand for everything we've seen for the last 25 years. So, like, I want to believe, I want to buy in. Part of me is still very, very nervous. But, yeah, theoretically, yes, they should be able to handle the Patriots, who now look to be the 4th team in the division by a pretty significant margin. But I'd like to add on, I am at my wit's end with, where do Miami Dolphins fans get the right to talk this talk? They haven't won a playoff game in 23 years. Like, let's pump it up there a little bit.
Oh, and if we have any Miami Dolphins fans in the chat right now, and you're saying, oh, the Jets gave up a first-round pick for a 40-year-old quarterback. Well, guess what? You guys gave up a first-round pick for a 40-year-old quarterback, and he's not on your fucking roster. He's not even going to play a single snap for you. Tom Brady, and you're flirting with him last year, cost you your number 19 overall pick this year. So I think the Dolphins fans can go kick a bunch of rocks, and I don't think they have any right to talk right now until they start winning some playoff games as well. Just getting into the game doesn't matter. I want to see some victories, and the Jets have one more recently than the Dolphins. Jetcast comes in. He says, hey guys, Pat here. What do you think this new contract will look like? Also, fun fact, we got more for Jamal than we gave up for Aaron. That Jamal trade is always going to be the trade that keeps on giving. Like, the fact that we got AVT and we got Garrett Wilson for Jamal Adams, best trade we'll ever make. I don't know if we'll ever see a better trade compensation. Greenbean, how you feeling? What do you think the contract's going to look like, possibly with Aaron Rodgers?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I mean, it would be really cool to find out that, like, Aaron Rodgers said, I'll take a 70% pay cut. We're going to restructure this whole thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, I would love to see it really be in our benefit. Contracts and all the details escape me. Like, I listen to guys like you. I look it over the cap. I try to make sense of it. Like, it's hard for me to predict the details. This is one of the most, it's probably the most complex contract situation I've seen. It's weird. It's a weird one. There's lots of wrinkles and variables, and I don't really get it. So that's the truth of it. So it's hard to predict, but I tell you what, it'd be real nice to see the back end and everybody go, oh, wait a second here. This is what's really going on. Once Joe Douglas has access to Aaron Rodgers, that things change a little bit. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah, my gut feeling is that this new contract, look, in order for it to help the Jets, the cap number would have to be lower than $15 million or lower than $32 million next year. And I have a hard time thinking of what that could possibly be. I think the next year is where you could get a little more cap relief. But I think it's going to be like a 5-year contract. It's going to stretch out some of these cap hits. I think it's basically going to be a similar 2-year structure that we have right now with a team option for year 3. And it's one of those situations where, like, hey, in the event that Zach Wilson absolutely balls out, and Aaron Rodgers feels like, hey, I may want to walk away or something like that. I've done whatever. Then maybe you create that type of contract to create that sort of, hey, Zach, we're still sort of supporting you in some capacity. And we're, this messaging is what we're going to have, at least for the next year. It wouldn't even shock me if they played on this current contract for this year right now and then made the determination, hey, we're not exercising Zach's 5th-year option. Now we restructure his contract in the offseason just before that $45 million bonus hits, right after the Super Bowl. I think that's probably somewhere we might be able to look. Matt, any thoughts on what a contract might look like?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what it ends up with coming out to, because I have a hard time, coming up with a way to get the cap lower for this year. Anyway, the 15.7 is a pretty nice number, but next year and beyond, I think, is where maybe things can get a little bit creative. I don't really have anything off the top of my head that I'm looking for to see, like, contract wise, but I'm just curious to see the final results and the cap hits here.
Andy drops in, our resident Packers fan. He says, rational fans on both sides knew it would be a couple seconds. I think we got a bit more than we would, but you got a Hall of Fame, pissed off Aaron Rodgers. Fair deal. Yeah, Andy, I completely agree. I think this was a good trade for both sides. As much as I felt like, we could have given up less, point-wise, when you factor everything in, what the Jets got, what the Packers got, the Jets basically gave up the point equivalency of the number 13 overall pick. And if you're asking me if I would trade one first-round pick for 2 shots at a Super Bowl, if it's only 2 years, I would say yes 100 times over. Matt, are you feeling the same way? Would you give up one first-round pick, number 13 overall, to have this type of opportunity with Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, I think you take the gamble. You don't really have much of a choice, right, at the quarterback position. I think we all agree that Rodgers gave the Jets the best chance to win, even over some of the other guys who are available and that people might have liked. So, yeah, absolutely, I would do it.
Green Bean, what about you? Would you give up number 13 overall, that equivalent amount of picks that we gave up, giving up number 13 overall for 2 years of Rodgers and this Super Bowl potential? You would do it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I would if just clean, just like that. Yeah, man. But that's the whole thing. It's like, we're getting caught up with these kind of values and all that shit. The truth is, again, we have the best quarterback that we've ever had. And I think that you can't expect to walk into, Pete Luger's Steakhouse, get their finest porterhouse and get out of there with a $5 bill. It's like, it's just not real. You're going to pay for that, but it's worth it. That's why you go.
100%. Matt comes in, says, hear me out. Gonna need help from Green Bean on this. Get Darnell Wright or Broderick Jones in round 1 to play right tackle and trade up for John Michael Schmitz. That's where I need Green Bean's help. John Michael Schmitz is the best center here and can be the next Mangold. So I completely disagree with this. I shouldn't say completely disagree. I half disagree. I do like going after the tackle still in round 1. I think going after someone that maybe is more of a right tackle is probably where I'd go. So I like Darnell Wright. I like DeJuan Jones. I think I'm fine with that. I would be even fine moving down a little bit more if we had to try and recoup some of, either another second or a third round pick so that we could add a little bit more fluff to our roster. But on the center front, I think retaining Connor McGovern means we are not looking at center in the second round, let alone trading up to try and get one. I'm looking at center in the 4th round now, and I'm saying, hey, I really like Ricky Stromberg from Arkansas. It's someone that I had us taking back in January. Now it becomes a little more realistic of an option because we're not so pressed to make this type of selection in the second round. So, Green Bean, how you feeling about the tackle position and center in the first 2 rounds?
Yeah. Well, my tipster said that the Jets are absolutely eyeballing center. Tackle in the first, but they also told me yesterday that the Jets are actively seeking a trade back right now. So if that's the case, the center that I keep saying that, the tackle that they're aiming for, which I believe is Broderick Jones, he's not going to be there if they keep sliding back. So then it might be a Darnell Wright. It might be an Anton Harrison who they met with as well. I think to see a tackle. If we can't trade back and there are no tackles that they like there, which I think they will, I think Broderick Jones is going to be sitting right there for them. Maybe we see a defensive tackle, maybe we see a wide receiver. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think you bring up a good point. I think that's why they brought in Connor McGovern. If their favorite center slides to them, they're going to grab him. But they don't feel the need to maybe jump up, use later capital for all that stuff. Maybe Joe Douglas basically did 2 things. He took with the McGovern signing, he took the stress out of it, that like back against the wall, have to at all costs get this guy right here. He removed that because we now know the floor of Conor McGovern, and it's maybe not what we love. It's not the best case, but it's also not the worst, man. He's kind of a middle of the road, upper half kind of center, and he has I think with Aaron Rodgers behind him, he could be significantly better. Aaron Rodgers said, hey, asshole, you need to do this, not that. He's not afraid to say that, where Zach Wilson isn't saying anything. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of benefit there, but I think they're going to take a center in this draft. I was told that as well. But like you said, maybe it's not the second. Maybe it's pick 112, Stromberg, maybe even a Jarrett Patterson if Avila slides, which he won't. But if he's there, every year, guys that I think it's just never in a million years are they going to slide. Never. Look, last year, Nakobe Dean. Granted, he was injured. But, I mean, like the year before, Creed Humphrey, slide. It's like, what is happening? DK Metcalf. Like, it happens every year. We're like, what is going on? Why is this guy still there? And it's, must be something wrong. Nope, it just happens. You grab him, he's an instant starter, and he's great. Nothing changed. So it could happen with some of these guys. I think there's a nice enough crop of centers that pick 112, you're still going to get a good one. So this enables us to do it that way, and I like it.
Matt, how you feeling about tackle in the first round and center possibly in the second round?
Yeah, had me in the first half, not so much in the second half there. I don't think they should take a center in the second round at this point. I think what I would be doing instead is looking for an interior defensive lineman, a linebacker, a safety. I don't think that would be the spot to grab your center.
Mm-hmm. Randy drops in, celebrates 1 month of membership, says, with signing Aaron Rodgers and McGovern, does this change the Jets' plans? Yeah, I think we just kind of talked about it right there. I think, tackle is still very much in the conversation, but center, I think, drops off as far as a pressing need in the second round. And now it's more of if your guy falls to you or if you feel comfortable waiting and taking one just a little bit later. I think the other part of that is that we have 4 of our 5 offensive linemen returning for last year, and some chemistry might go a long way. New York Jets situation report. What's up, Gunny? He's going to be with us on our live stream coming up for the NFL draft all 3 days. We'll be talking to a whole bunch of different content creators, and Gunny is one of them. Good evening, gents. Let's go. We got our quarterback, and this trade was right in the wheelhouse of our predictions. The second becomes a first. Too easy, but F it. Yeah, Gunny, we are right there with you. Tigo drops in, celebrates a month of membership, and he's going to be with us day 2 of the NFL draft. He says, still can't believe we got our quarterback, 8 the great. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about that. Matt, how you feeling about Rodgers wearing number 8?
I'm good with it. I think it's going to be cool. I want to get my Elijah Moore jersey switched. So if anyone knows who, like, someone who could do it well, not like tape or some crackpot job, like if anyone knows someone who could replace a nameplate, let me know. But yeah, I think it's going to look cool. I can't wait.
Green Bean, how you feeling about number 8?
Is that confirmed?
I mean, Schefter said it. Yes. It seemed like it was pretty sure that's going to happen.
He could wear number, 0 for all I care, honestly.
Doesn't matter.
The only reason I care was like the whole 12 thing was like of interest to me. Yes. I pick 8, like Garrett Wilson. I'm going to 5. Great. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Still going to have legs, still going to catch, still going to throw, still going to do it.
Yeah. I used to care before it got all weird, like, defensive ends are like number 3. Like, I don't know what the hell. It's all bullshit to me anymore. I think, when it was like these guys were the 50s and that's it, and these guys were the 90s, like that made sense to me. Now everybody's crazy and they can move all over the place. Like wide receivers were 80s and they were teams. Now they're single digits, and I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to think. So I guess it's fantastic.
Jet for 2 comes in and says, I am Captain Peanut from the gallery, and I think we should have tried to acquire Tannehill. Just kidding. Aaron Rodgers was the best and only option. Yeah.
Good,
thank
man.
God.
Yeah.
You had me like my blood was about to start boiling, and then I simmered it down a little bit. So thank you for spiking my blood pressure. Dick Delgado says, I still believe in Christian Ponder, Zach Wilson. Thank you, Dick. Mike comes in with a $20 super chat. He says, we finally are going all in. We have been rebuilding forever. It's time to take a shot. If it doesn't work out, at least we tried. Yeah, I completely agree. Look, we have been trying to develop a quarterback for the last 12 to 15 years. We tried it with Mark Sanchez. We tried it with Geno Smith. We tried it with Christian Hackenberg. We tried it with Sam Darnold and, Zach Wilson. It just hasn't worked out. Let's try a different approach. We have all these good young players under contract for cheap for the next few years. This is the time to pay a big-time quarterback to come in. Green Bean, are you feeling, hey, screw it, let's just take the shot?
Yeah, dude, I think it's a great point. Like, look, the plan was to do this while you have your quarterback on his rookie contract, right? That was the plan. If Zach hit, do you see how perfectly this plan is working? Like, it's beautiful. Zach didn't hit. He quite literally could be called a miss, right? We don't know for sure. They're still working on him, but looks very missy to us over here. So if that's the case, you still have everything else. It's smart, dude. It's smart to go ahead, spend the money, move the money around, do all the things, do whatever you can. It's all possible. We're seeing a general manager that is figuring out how to do it on the numerical side. Now, not just the player personnel side and the coaching and the staffing and all that stuff. We're now seeing the contract manipulation and the salary cap stuff. And it's a good sign. He's aggressive. Go ahead and go for it. Like I said, we are tired of rebuilding. Are we going to now draft, like people are saying, trade up and draft Bryce Young or CJ Stroud? Really? Is that what we're doing? So by the time he gets his head out of his ass, Garrett Wilson wants to leave and Sauce Gardner's done, and you know what I mean? Like, nah, dude, we got these guys. We have a young core that's going to be here for the next few years. Go out, get it done. And it just so happens to be the best case scenario for Zach Wilson as well. I think it's perfect. I agree with it 100%.
Thomas Cahill drops in and says, we need 𝐒𝐿𝐴 bad. What do you think,
It'd
Matt?
be fun. I do like 𝐒𝐿𝐴, but the only way I would take 𝐒𝐿𝐴 is if the top 3 tackles plus right are off the board. Then I'd say 𝐒𝐿𝐴, because it's going to be hard for me to be upset about that pick with the thought of him playing next to Quinnen Williams and with the edge rushers rotating around. I think that would be deadly, but I'd be very fearful of the plan at offensive tackle if they didn't go offensive line in the first round.
C. Thompson says, let's get our headspace right. We need to have a Pro Bowl quarterback. Let's get D-Hop and make it filthy. I don't know where we have any more money to make this type of acquisition. I would be very surprised if we added another wide receiver, at least of significant contract proportions. Because I saw a tweet from DeAndre Hopkins that said like, "Oh, he should take less" or something like that, and it was like a haha kind of tweet. Green Bean, you think we should add another bigger wide receiver or higher priced wide receiver?
Yes, I think we should find more money. No matter what, get everybody in here. We were going to sign OBJ. Why not? Do it. Figure it out, Joe Douglas. Get them all in here. The Saints do it. Everybody else does it. Just sign them. That's what I think. Or not. Or we're good. One or the other.
We're collecting all these stones on our infinity gauntlet, and we just got the last one with Aaron Rodgers, and we're ready to do the snap, and we're going to reset everything. It's going to be fantastic.
I love it.
Douglas drops in, says, as someone who also follows Denver, I can't help but have just a smidgen of trepidation based on how Russell Wilson imploded last season. Nobody saw that coming. That said, I'm cautiously optimistic. So I am concerned whenever a quarterback switches teams for the first time. We saw it with Russell Wilson. We saw it with Deshaun Watson. And there's concern there for sure. With Rodgers, I'm less so concerned because we have his offensive coordinator that he worked so well with in the past. This is like literally the most comfortable sort of situation that you could put Aaron Rodgers in. And we have so many toys around him that he doesn't have to be the guy all the time. So I'm not too concerned. Matt, are you concerned at all that this could wind up similarly to how Denver wound up maybe regretting the Russell Wilson trade?
Did the Jets give up multiple firsts? I don't think
technically
they did.
yes. They
They
gave up
no,
13.
they didn't because it was a swap.
It was a pick
swap.
It's not.
Shut up.
Did you see the way Schefter reported it? When he first reported, he goes, "The Jets gave up this year's first, they gave up this year's second," and everyone on NFL Live was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "Wait, I'm not done. I have more stuff to say."
Yeah, he did that. But he should have led. It's a swap of 13 and 15. Oh, they moved back 2 picks. Boo freaking who? No, it's not the same. They didn't give up the same amount, and it's not some absorbent contract that's going to be like $100 million dead cap hit if you try to get out of it. So, no, it's not even remotely comparable.
RJ McPot drops in. He says, "Does 65% snaps conditional include playoffs?" It most likely does not. It's usually a regular season thing, but if it includes playoffs, I would also ask that includes preseason as well. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to play any of the snaps, and I would be trying to just get a zillion snaps all the time. Like, let's get a zillion first downs and make it so that way there's so many snaps that maybe we clinch some type of playoff spot, and then we just let Zach come in for cleanup duty, and then we don't have to give up the first next year. No, Jets are going to be giving up a first. I have no issue whatsoever with that. Dane O comes in and says, "Sorry, Ryan, would have preferred pick 13 outright." No. I don't want to give up pick 13. I'm saying the value of all the picks that we gave up and the picks that we got back from the Green Bay Packers, if you add up those points and figure out what the difference is actually the point total of what pick 13 is worth. It just so happens to be the pick that we actually own or did own. But no, I would not have given up, 13. I would have given up, I guess so. It's a weird way to kind of look at it, but yes, I would give up one single individual pick for Aaron Rodgers for 2 years of Super Bowl. Michael Gonzalez drops in. He says, "Fellas, I am looking forward to the season. Let's make the playoffs and take it from there." Yeah, dude, I am completely on the same page. Matt, how are you feeling? I know you got to jump out of here at 9 o'clock. Are you just looking at the season? You're just like, man, I'm just hoping for playoffs. It's been a long, long time. What's your outlook on the season?
Well, I think that has to be the first step, right? Is just get over that hump and be a playoff team. But they didn't make this move to go 10-7, be the 7th seed, and then get bounced by Kansas City or Buffalo. They made this to compete in the AFC East, have a legitimate chance to win it, have a legitimate chance to win any game they play in, and you take it from there. I hope they win a Super Bowl. I hope they, make a really nice run, but you got to start with the playoffs first. And with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you're going to be in every single game you play because of how good that defense is.
Matt, I know you got to leave us. Any last thoughts? What's going on in your head? What you got going on?
1, let's effing go Isles. And number 2, I cannot wait for 3 straight days of streaming with you boys. I am so excited. Make sure to subscribe to the Talkin' Jets new YouTube channel. And that's it. I'm so excited for this week. It's my favorite thing we do all year, guys.
Yeah. I love it. Matt, you have been ejected. We will see you later, our friend. And now there are 2.
It's romantic.
I know, right? Jacob pops in. Jacob says, how I look at it, you got to spend money to make money. Also, how confident are y'all that our offensive line for Aaron Rodgers obviously still needs work? So I think we're still going to get the tackle. We're going to get a tackle in some capacity. I think at the very least, you have guys that have played together for one season coming back and playing together again and having some sort of cohesion, specifically with like McGovern and the guards. But the biggest factor here is going to be Aaron Rodgers can get rid of the ball so much faster. He can diagnose defenses so much faster. Zach Wilson, similarly to Russell Wilson, where you run around, hold the ball too long, you create more sacks for your offensive line than it should be happening. So Rodgers getting the ball out quick is going to help our offensive line purely because of that.
Dude, think about this. Aaron Rodgers is never going to run 15 yards backwards this entire season. He's not going to do it once. We saw it multiple times. And not only did we see that multiple times, at the end of it, he would try to throw it out of bounds and almost get picked. He had the one time he did get picked. Like, there are so many layers to how bad what we were watching really was. It's not just a bad quarterback. Like, and look, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. If they want to keep working with him, I mean, if it's not about like, hey, it's more expensive to cut him than it is to whatever, all right, then fine. If you want to work with him, great. He loves Aaron Rodgers, Hackett thing. Okay, great, man. I'm in. I'm totally rooting for him, 100%. But let's be real. I thought Sam Darnold couldn't get lower than that. That's what I thought. And Zach Wilson was lower than that. It was the worst. I've never seen anything like it. I would make videos like, what was that? Like, I've never seen football. I've played football my whole life, Ryan. Even in like, lunchtime games in elementary school, the quarterback never did that. Like, we just never, it's not the game. So Aaron Rodgers is going to completely remove that. Like you said, the quicker release, he already knows the offense. He knows the vernacular. He knows where everybody's going to be. He's going to make the decision. He can see the field. We haven't had a quarterback that can do that in a long, long time. And it's going to, we're going to see it right away. I mean, even if he's still rusty or, the thumb, or he needs a couple weeks to get back to Aaron Rodgers, whatever he brings to the field is 99% chance going to be light years better than what we've seen. And we should be excited about that, guys, because guess what? He's got studs all around him. We have studs all over the place. We just couldn't use them. This is what's going to be changing. We're going to see what our studs can do when a guy doesn't get them the ball 3 seconds too late, when the cornerback had an opportunity to catch up and readjust. And dude, Garrett Wilson is going to break away. He's going to be hit in his hands. You know what I mean? That's the difference. It's going to be amazing.
RJ McPot drops in. He says, if Rodgers blows out the other team 64% of the snaps per game, and let's let Zach manage till the end, we get to keep our first this year. Yeah, right? Like, we blow out a team through, what was it, halfway through the third quarter, and then we're like, all right, Zach, you're going to get some reps against the defense, and we're just going to run the ball a lot. We're not going to worry about it. And Rodgers, we want to rest you up. That would be a real, like, kick in the balls to Green Bay, I feel like. Oh,
it'd be so fun. And Rodgers is like, I'm all in. Like, he doesn't need to, like, collect any more yards. He doesn't need to shit.
Yeah. He's like, Namath can have the 4,000 yards. I don't need 4,000. It's cool. We'll get by winning, and I'll throw for like 3,000 yards on the season, and we won't have to give up the first.
Imagine he does it. Dude, he gets 4,000 yards playing 3 quarters a game.
I would cry laughing. It would be the single most ridiculous trade and like situation that would have played out I think I'd ever have seen.
I'd fly to New Jersey just to hug you if that happened.
I would fly down to Virginia just to hug you, even if it doesn't happen. It's okay. I just want to hug.
There you go. You're welcome here. You're welcome.
Leo hops in. Leo says, hey guys, for some reason, why are some people saying don't be surprised if Q gets traded next year? Where is that coming from? That's not happening. I haven't seen people say Quinnen's going to get traded. I think he's definitely going to get a contract extension. This is not the same situation that we had with Leonard Williams when we had the, Quinnen sitting right in our lap and we had the opportunity to move off of Leonard. I think Quinnen is definitely a long-term Jet. I think he's going to get re-signed before the start of training camp. I just think we are going to have to wait a little bit until they figure out the full Rodgers contract, how everything else kind of works into it, and then they'll get Quinnen his money. You got any concerns there, Green Bean, with Quinnen?
Oh, the only concern I have is just get this shit done already. Like the optics. Like, did you see Joe Douglas in his presser today said he's optimistic, and Quinnen put out the tweet like optimistic? Like that's where we are. And it's
I didn't see the Quinnen response, but that's the same answer he gave a month ago at the owners meeting.
No, that wasn't today. I saw it today.
Oh, no. Well, he definitely said it today, but he also said the same thing at the owners meeting. He's optimistic with the Quinnen contract.
Yeah, well, and maybe somebody retweeted it. It could be, but I'm not sure one way or the other. But yeah, he posted it to, like, it's a picture of Quinnen like looking at
sipping
the camera, like, yeah, some shit like that. Maybe that's an old one.
So Quinnen was a part of a meme photo shoot. I think I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. And that's where like the little the sunglasses thing comes with him in the Hawaiian shirt that you see pop up in the lower corner occasionally. That was that same photo shoot. Jet Engine drops in, says, JD paid the total value of the 13th pick for a Hall of Fame quarterback worth every penny. 25 years ago, the Jets pick up Vinny at 36 years old, ancient in those days. 39 years old with Rodgers is a different situation altogether. Yeah, I mean, you had Vinny Testaverde, who was a failed number 1 overall pick, and you have Aaron Rodgers, who is very much the opposite of that. This is totally different than the Vinny situation, and I think getting Aaron Rodgers now, he's so much better. Green Bean, you pulling any parallels from the Vinny situation?
Well, yeah. What's up, Jet Engines? Good to see you, dude. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very different. We didn't give up anything. I mean, when we picked up Vinny, it was very much seen as like a scrap heap. Like, it was to back up Glenn Foley. That's what it was. Glenn Foley had beaten out Neil O'Donnell, who never should have been signed. It was funny. I saw 189 Paris talking about it. When the Jets signed Neil O'Donnell, it was the stupidest move ever. The reason that they did it, well, number one, he was a good quarterback, right? And he got to the Super Bowl and all that shit. But he's from Morris Plains or Morris Lakes or Mountain Lakes or one of those. He's from one of those areas I think it's Morris Plains by Arthur's down there. And so bringing him here, like, it was all about like hometown, like all this shit. But dude, he single-handedly lost the Super Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, single-handedly, he threw 2 pick sixes to a 12th round pick cornerback, Larry Brown. He made Larry Brown a multi-millionaire. He signed a contract, and it was a whole thing. And then we go scoop him. So remember, like, Parcells came here. He got 9-7 out of Neil O'Donnell and Adrian Morrell. He said Adrian Morrell leaves yards on the field. He got rid of him, brought in Curtis Martin. Glenn Foley was Parcells' quarterback. He cut Neil O'Donnell, got Vinny Testaverde to back him up. So it's very, very different. But the parallel, and I know what you're saying, Jet Engine, I just have to give context before I can agree or disagree. The parallel is that he was considered old back then. And, I think 40 for quarterbacks is the new 32, right? Not 30, 32. It's like, dude, quarterbacks are playing older, man. I mean, and Aaron Rodgers is a tough son of a bitch. He's only missed more than one game twice in his career. He's only missed any games 4 times in his whole 15 years that he played. He's 18-year career, 15 years as a starter. I mean, it's like this guy, he's tough. And you saw he played with a broken thumb. Most quarterbacks, they got a broken thumb. That's it. They're done. He played on a team that was they were not really doing anything last year, and he still played. So there's a different thing there, and with Vinny came in and gave us the most miraculous thing that I'd never seen anything like it before or since. You know what I mean? It was unbelievable. But I think Aaron Rodgers is capable of that on the regular. Vinny was like real streaky, like really good. He'd throw 3 touchdowns and then he'd throw 2 pick sixes. It's like, what is this guy? Is he suck? Is he great? Aaron Rodgers is not that. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw all that many interceptions. I mean, I got to knock on wood. I'm freaking myself out talking like this, Brian. This is fucking weird, man.
How are we being so positive? This is absolutely horrifying.
I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, I got a guy in my head like, you better shut up, man. That's what he's saying. You better stop. But I think there are parallels, of course, but I think this is quite literally unprecedented. And Jets fans, if you're a younger Jets fan and you're grumbling about the pick and all that shit, man, like, you need to understand, like, this is unprecedented what we did. Yes, we did the Brett Favre thing and all that. So there is a comparison there, but it's very, very different in that, Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP. We have his offensive coordinator. Like, there's a whole foundational piece here that wasn't there, even though the Mangini team was good. We had a good team. We had Mawai. I mean, we had Mangold. That's right. We had Mangold and DeBrickashaw Ferguson and all that. Like, we had a good team, but it wasn't this. Like, this team is young and, I mean, offensive, defensive rookie of the year. It's unprecedented what we're looking at, and it's an opportunity to actually smile, and I think we should try to get there. This is good shit.
AP drops in. He says, what's up, boys? Aaron Rodgers, baby. Sliding back to 15 definitely makes for a tough decision. Green Bay and New England both have similar needs to us. Go Jets. Yeah, I think that's sort of why I feel like the Jets have maybe pivoted to right tackle more than left tackle. And I don't think receiver was really going to be a realistic option. I would have a hard time seeing the Jets taking Jackson Smith-Njigba at 13. But I do think that having Green Bay jump in front of the Packers or in front of the Patriots prevents the Patriots from getting Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think he's definitely going to go to Green Bay as his floor. And then if we wind up losing a left tackle to the Patriots, so be it. I think Douglas has kind of aligned himself maybe to let Becton kind of be the incumbent almost, or duke it out with Brown on the left-hand side, and then you bring in a guy that's always been a right tackle in Darnell Wright or DeJuan Jones or something along those lines. So as much as I am a little bit concerned, I think the Jets have some more options, and I'm not as nervous maybe as I was initially when I saw the trade. Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah. Well, I kind of. I mean, I think you make a lot of good points, and it's I can certainly get in there. Like, I happen to love Anton Harrison, and I think the Jets do too. I think he's plug and play. Now, he's, I think the interesting thing about our situation right now is that, like, we do have Dwayne Brown for one more year. We do have Mekhi Becton. We do have Max Mitchell. So really what we're trying to make sure we don't do is see what happened last year when you're falling back to your guard. We got to move a guard over, and then we have McCracken or whatever the hell that guy's name. What was his name again?
We had a few different tackles out there.
Connor McDermott, right?
McDermott, McCracken. Phil?
I really said that. I wasn't a joke. That was really what I thought. But we're trying to make sure that we avoid that. If the kid can beat Dwayne, let's say they're equal, then you bump Dwayne Brown back, and then you got Dwayne Brown as your backup. And, you can't pay that much. Yes, you can. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can be, if you want the kid to play, then he plays, and you can, and then if if something happens, you got Dwayne Brown coming in, and it's a whole different thing. And then at bare minimum, let's say he doesn't beat out Dwayne Brown. You have a first round pick backing him up or swinging, whatever, however it goes. And then you have him on the team grooming as security, so we don't see what happened last year. And then he's when he goes into the starting role, he's got a year in the system, and it's plus. Like it's good on all fronts. And I think that the Jets like a few of these guys. Like you said, Darnell Wright, I could see Anton Harrison. Nobody's talking about Anton Harrison, man. I nabbed him early. I like him. He's one of my favorites, and I think the Jets would be fine sliding back to 18 or whatever, 20, and grabbing Anton Harrison. He might even go earlier than that. I know other teams are rumored to like him more than is being said as well. It's kind of like hush-hush. But, dude, there's 5 tackles up there that I think the Jets would be happy to bring because we do have Becton and we do have Dwayne Brown. And the whole idea, Ryan, that you can't use a first-round pick on a guy, yes, you can. Yes, you can. If it's going to take away that fear of what happened last year when we were decimated at tackle, it's well worth it, man. You do it.
E-Boogie drops in. E-Boogie says, what's going on, fellas? How do you guys feel if JD went for quantity over quality, trading down players and future picks? Let's effing go, boys. Yeah, I guess I'm in a weird spot because I like having draft picks, so I do like the idea of trading down. And I think if you're not so locked into the top 3 tackles, you're maybe a little more willing to slide back a little bit and still get guys that you do like. And I do think there's a lot of depth in the middle part of this year. I would almost slide back, and if rather than getting another pick this year, I'd almost be kind of cool with throwing a pick into next year's draft and giving us a little more ammo. How do you feel about trading down, Green Bean?
Well,
whoa, Jet Engine gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, dude.
There it is.
Hell yeah. Greg, Hennessy, Gitmo, Snowball, and Eric all get gifted a membership by Jet Engine. Guys, drop some JETS in the chat for our newest members of the channel.
There it is. Yeah, good shit, Jet Engine. Jet Engine's a good dude. We've known Jet Engine for a long time, Ryan. Jet Nation.
Yeah.
No?
Oh yeah, of course.
He was the Jet Nation captain for a year. Remember?
Oh, I did not know that.
But yeah, he's a good dude. He's always been a good dude. Yeah, isn't it funny? Like we're here, like, on my end, it's like, well, dude, let's remember that we got the commodity and they got the picks, and picks are crapshoot. And then it's like, let's trade back and get more picks. You know what I mean? Yum, 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 yum.
We want to Pac-Man it all up, just gobble up every pick we can get.
It's funny. But I think, again, I believe my source that JD is trying to trade back. Now, it might not be all that far back. Maybe it is. Maybe they feel totally good with, with waiting until the second for a tech. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, I could see it, though. Am I in favor? Maybe not. We slid back 2 spots. This is our year. I think go ahead and get the best damn player that you can. And just look, you have 5, trade back in the second if you want. You know what I mean? Get a third, get a fourth, whatever you want to do. But I don't know. I'd be happy either way, but I think I'd probably take a player if it was me.
NY Jets 24 says, Ryan Greenbean, Matt, I heard the NFL or on NFL Network that Rodgers is flying to New Jersey tonight for a physical tomorrow. There will be a 2:00 press conference. What stupid question that 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿 ask of Aaron at the press conference? Ooh. What do you think would be like a dumb question that he could get asked at the press conference?
Why would you choose a team that hasn't been to the playoffs in 12 years, who has had so many injuries to the offensive line? He's going to go that route. 100%.
Debbie Downer over there.
Totally, man. There's no question.
I'm excited to see what questions wind up getting asked. I don't think the media is going to absolutely like dig into him right off the bat. I think there's going to be a little bit of a honeymoon phase with the media, at least until the games start playing.
Oh, I could see that too. That's not a bad point. I tend to lean negative with a lot of the press, especially 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿. I mean, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿 takes the negative track every time, dude. I mean, even when there's a positive, it's a negative spin on the positive. I mean, that's just who he is. You know what I mean? That's what he does. It's just comfort zone. He does very well with it. ESPN loves it, so he's going to keep doing it. Until we stop reading his shit and clicking on his stuff, he's going to keep saying that stuff. But I think I think most of the New York press is going to be starstruck to a degree. Like, holy shit, we got a real one here. We're not talking to Zach Wilson. We're not talking to Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? We're not talking to Nathan Shepard. Like, we're talking to, holy shit, Aaron Rodgers is here and he's ours and we got him. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be some of that, a little bit of ass kissing, a little bit of glad handing, a little bit of fun.
Dano drops in. He says, to this season, guys, I appreciate you, all your time, content, insights, and look forward to this highly anticipated season, might even top the Rex days. Well, we all hope so. We're excited for it. It's the best time as Jet fans since probably that 2010 season after we went to that first championship game, because no one was really thinking championship game in 2009. It was like, oh, we kind of backed into the playoffs. We thought we weren't going to get in. And then you had the high expectations the following year. And that's sort of where I sit right now. And it's nice. It feels good to have that confidence. It's been a long time, Green Bean.
Yeah, the Rex days. And too bad the Rex days. You know, it's a funny thing. You know, Rex did the thing on Get Up, and he wore the Jets shirt and all the stuff. And look, how do you not love Rex? And he's a Jets fan and the whole thing. And love Rex. Well, let's not forget, Rex had 4 years here of complete and utter failure after the 2 really exciting years, and not only just failure, but like deconstructive failure. Like, he tore this team apart. And
then he went to Buffalo and blew up the #1 defense.
And then, yeah. And then he beat us in the playoffs. Like, I can't forget all that shit. Like, I still love Rex, and I enjoy Rex for the most part. I think he still says some stupid stuff sometimes. Overall, I love Rex, and I thank him for everything. And I really wish it worked, because if Rex would have just gotten us to the Super Bowl, maybe not even won it, he would have been entrenched in Jets. I mean, look, dude, right here. You see it. I mean,
dude, fans love Rex. I mean, he's given us our best seasons as Jet fans that I've ever lived through. I mean, I think that's where, a large chunk of our fan base, views Rex.
A lot, you're right. That's all they have. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like I remember Parcells' years were. I mean, the Rex years were exciting because he was like, you know, the way he talked, like same old Jets back in the AFC Championship game. You know, yeah, well, you got a target on our back. We got a target on your chest. Like all that kind of shit. And like it was fun while we were winning, but he couldn't turn that off. And we were like a 4-win team, and he's still talking. And it became somewhat of a cartoon character of himself. And the feet. And I mean, there's a lot there, dude. There's a lot of fucking ingredients in this stew. And I think we selectively view a lot of it. I see the whole thing. So like, while I love Rex, the Parcells years were equally good, if not better. I mean, that team was something else, man, with Vinny and Keyshawn and Wayne and all those guys. And then the sack exchange years, I mean, they were Freeman McNeil, Wesley Walker, Al Toon. A lot of guys don't remember that. And then obviously before me, you got a lot of guys, they harken back to Namath. So we had like these sections of time, but Rex is in there and you can't take it away, nor should you want to. But yeah, we got to do so. We got to get back to that, man. Having a couple years like that, just a couple years of fun would be real nice.
Thomas Cahill comes in and says, A-Rod is all in on the offseason program. He wants to win. Yeah, I think the conversation that went on in California when the Jets flew out there, that was part of it. It was like, hey, look, we want you here. We think you could be a huge part of success of this team. We'd love to have you committed 110%. And I think having, you know, Rodgers with this new atmosphere and him wanting to prove himself, I think there's a fear of failure that also plays into that, and I think he's going to be far more dialed in than we saw just last year.
Fear of, I'm sorry, who'd you say that though? Fear of failure?
I said I think Rodgers has that little bit of a fear of failure going to a new team. The expectations are going to be so high that he is going to give us everything he has, the motivation from, you know, the 90% retired. Now you're talking about trading me. They're probably going to select a wide receiver for Jordan Love. They never did that for him. Like, I think he's going to use all this motivation plus that fear of like, I don't want to call it a fear, but maybe the motivation of not wanting to fail. And I think he's going to give everything he has to us.
I agree. I feel the same way. And again, like we talked about a little bit earlier, you know, this type of motivation, we've seen it a couple times in his career and it's worked. Like this is kind of, yes, he's a little bit, you know, he goes and takes ayahuasca once a year. He goes in dark retreats and he's kind of mellow and he takes his sweet ass time. He doesn't care. And he tells Schefter to lose his number and all those things that a lot of fans look at as weird. I don't think he is weird. I think he's just he marches to his own drum and that's all well and good. But the one thing that we know is that he responds to this kind of stuff, at least up to this point in his career. He responds in a vicious way to being like kind of the idea that he's being screwed or being forgotten or whatever. He doesn't like it, man. And we're getting that guy, especially if they use a first round pick on a wide receiver. I think it's going to be the final nail, the straw that broke the camel's back. He's going to be like, all right, dude, we're going to shred the NFL this year.
Imagine if that was part of the trade. Joe Douglas playing some 4D chess. They're like, yo, we're going to swap those first round picks because we know what you're about to do, and it's going to help us out on the back end.
Oh, there it is. I like that, Ryan. We're going to run with that one. That's right.
I'm going to run with. I think that's going to be the story I'm telling myself. It's just like, Aaron Rodgers had a down year this past year. Look what Nathaniel Hackett did in Denver. That was so bad. No. Aaron Rodgers had a down year without Nathaniel Hackett, and Seattle had a great year without Russell Wilson. This has nothing to do with Nathaniel Hackett whatsoever.
That's right. I like your story. I might even make a video about it and pretend it's me that got that idea. What do you think of that?
You can throw a little wink in there. I'll know it's from me. That's okay.
All right, a wink. There it is. I can't do it. I'll be like, Ryan said.
Ryan did this.
I do it.
TJ comes in. He says, do you think the Jets may be trying to clear space this year for D-Hop? Probably a long shot, but I don't think he will cost much pick-wise, so money is really the only barrier. I don't think we're going after DeAndre Hopkins. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because the Packers tried to trade for Corey Davis initially, which means that tells me that Aaron Rodgers on some level wanted Corey Davis to play with him. So even though maybe Rodgers wanted Odell Beckham Jr. a little bit more than Corey Davis, I think Corey Davis being on this team is very much seen as a positive by Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know if the Jets necessarily feel the need to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, we have a bunch of stuff. Look, we got Lazard for him. I'm with you on the Corey Davis thing. There's that. But we also have Garrett Wilson. We got Denzel Mims. You got, what's his name? Mecole Hardman running around. Like, we have a lot of young guys. Like, I mean, not just necessarily young. We have a lot of very, very talented guys at the position. We also have tight ends. We also have running backs that are excellent. I mean, do they need to do that? And I don't think so. I mean, you say, well, how much would it cost? I mean, well, they just gave up first-round picks for him a year ago. You know what I mean? So I don't know why would they want to get rid of him? They just brought in Jimmy G. They want to keep guys for Jimmy G. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's what's happening.
D-Hop, not DeAndre, not Devontae Adams.
Oh, did I mix that up?
Well,
I'll tell you what.
We're not going after
Same
a big
difference. We're not going after him either. Even though I played around with it earlier and said we are, we were not, in my opinion. There we go. I screwed it all up.
That's all right. Kaz drops in. He says, listen, if you're not happy about this, find another team. This is awesome for Jet fans. I have 50 years of losing. Rodgers makes it possible to win big. Kaz, I completely agree. You have seen way more losing than I have, and I've been complaining very, very vocally. So I can't imagine the pain and torment that you've had to go through your fan head. And I am very excited for all of Jet Nation because of this trade. Famous J hops in, says, Matt Ryan Greenbean, thank you for getting us through this trade saga. Aaron Rodgers came out of the darkness with the Jets hat on, ready to paint Broadway green and white. No trade losers in the deal. Let's go. Yeah, I think when I heard Aaron Rodgers say I was 90% retired going into the darkness, and I heard everything that was said about, now they're looking to shop me and trade me. Now I'm going to use that as motivation. Now I'm ready to come back. I heard him before he went into the darkness saying that he heard people talking about, stuff without him, and he thought that was interesting, which leads me to believe he knew something was coming down the pipeline anyway, and he's using everything and every little ounce of motivational juice, and I love it. Anything that can piss off Aaron Rodgers more and more is going to make me feel so much better, because this dude's got a chip the size of, like, New York City on his shoulder.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, like, we love it. Like, we want all that shit. The idea that he said he was 90% going to retire, heard that he comes out, he's all relaxed and good. He's in touch with his spiritual center and all that shit. His God chakras and then, all on fire. And he goes, the Packers are already moving around. He's like, screw that. I'm coming back and I'm coming to the Jets. Like, that's the guy we're talking about. He's an ultimate competitor, and anything we can stack up. And I'm telling you, guys, I figured it out myself without the help from Ryan. I think Joe D is playing 4D chess. And that he did the pick swap so the Packers could take JSN to piss Aaron Rodgers off even more. My own idea, original thought right here.
Thank you for that. You forgot to do the wink.
I know. I was just going to say, Ryan gave it to me. But since you're here, I can play with it.
All right. I see.
I wanted to say something funny. I almost knocked big BYU fan out of here a couple times, and he just qualified for his shirt. So congratulations, butthole. You're in the mix.
Oh, BYU fan. It's okay. It's okay. We still love you here. Jet Engine hops in again. He says re-signing Connor McGovern was big. I don't want a rookie getting OTJ snapping to A-Rod. Getting OTJ. I don't know what does OTJ stand for?
OTJ. I don't want
I don't know.
Otis.
So, Chad, help us out. I don't know my acronyms.
Yeah. That's not an acronym. That would be an abbreviation, Ryan.
Maybe.
An acronym is a word. Like when it's like in MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Well, that's what I'm hoping OTJ is. I don't think 𝐎'𝐿𝐽 is a word.
No, it can't be.
Oh,
So-
he meant
So it
OTAs.
would be
Rookie getting
OTAs.
OTAs.
I don't want
snapping.
OTAs snapping the A-Rod.
Oh, one-time jet? Is that
One-time
what he
jet.
Maybe? I don't know. No one has any idea what he's talking about.
Brandillo,
It's all
that's
right.
It's a good
On
as
the
guess
job
as any.
training. On the job snapping. Rookie getting on the job training. Okay. All right. On the job. I like it. I like it.
On the
I like
job.
it.
My wife
There it is.
just checked in. My wife just texted me and said, Office of Tribal Justice. I guess she's watching.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, look, I think re-signing McGovern was twofold, or threefold even. You get some cohesion across the offensive line. You get a veteran center who has been available. That has been McGovern's best asset, I think, since he's been on the New York Jets. Is he's always healthy and he's always playing. Like, how many offensive line mixtures do we have to go through? At least having this guy, you get the baseline center play, you get cohesion on the offensive line, and then you at the very least don't have to reach for a center. You can kind of let the one you want fall to you, or you can maybe groom someone that you like, say in the 4th round. I like someone at center or that could play guard that you get in the 4th round that could also back up 𝐒𝐭 Tomlinson in case things start to go sideways that way. There's a whole lot of benefits to bringing back McGovern. I'm a big fan of this move.
I agree. I mean, look, I think a lot of us, I mean, there was a few people that were like, bring McGovern back. You know, he's top 10 center, that whole thing. I think those were fewer and farther between than a lot would think. I think, you know, bringing him back does a couple things. One is it gives Joe Douglas a little bit of flexibility. Again, we know that he's a competent starter, albeit not spectacular. He's had stretches where he's been excellent, but overall, we don't like what don't we like? We don't like that he kind of lacks sometimes in the passing game, but when the quarterback gets hit, he doesn't even seem to care. He's late hits. He doesn't seem to protect his quarterbacks, and that rubs us. And we're looking for an upgrade, but it gives Joe Douglas that flexibility. You know what you're getting. He's been on the line for 3 years. He's been with Robert Saleh for 2. So this is his 3rd year with Saleh. You know, even though it's a new offense, he's played next to 𝐒𝐭 Tomlinson. He's played next to ABT. So, and he's made it through the whole season twice, which is amazing. You know what I mean? So he's kind of the one guy on the line that didn't get hurt. Well, I guess 𝐒𝐭 made it too, but so him and 𝐒𝐭, the only guys, you know, so, you know, we know that he's going to make it through the season. So there's a lot of positives there, and it gives you that floor. Now, if you bring in, let's say hypothetically, we get a Stromberg, right? The hope is that he's better than McGovern, and sooner rather than later, and you can do that. But until there's no rush, you know what you're getting, and you can allow him without pressure, like Jet Engine is saying, you know, playing while, you know, on the job training or Office of Tribal Justice. We're not sure which one it is, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's a better scenario. So it gives you both of those options, and I think it's positive. It's resoundingly positive in my opinion.
We got our boy Buffalo Jet fan who's also going to be hanging out with us on the draft stream. Buffalo, I got to reach out to you and figure out what day we're getting you on, but we're definitely having him here. Green Bean and I haven't collabed yet because we are secretly working on the Aaron Rodgers trade behind the scenes. Now me and Bean can talk ball.
Finally, right, Buffalo? It's been crazy, man. We talk every day. We just can't let anybody know. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation. We're free now, buddy. We're free.
Tom Cahill comes in and says, Cansey. He's big on 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐬. We were talking about that earlier in the draft. I think there's an outside chance that the Jets do go defensive tackle in the 1st round. I think it depends how much value they put on those that like tackle 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do they think one of them will be there in the 2nd? I don't know if you want to really gamble on that type of move, but I could see it happening. Ryan King comes in and says, get D-Hop. I know everyone gets excited about D-Hop because he is phenomenal. And in a vacuum, yeah, I would love to swap him out with Corey Davis and, you know, make that happen. But at the same time, there is some level of I really like that Corey Davis has been in the building. He's got respect with the teammates. He knows the coaching staff and everything. I like the chemistry that's here with Corey Davis. I don't know if I necessarily feel the need to have to change that.
Well, listen, man. You know, somebody brought it up to me I forget who it was, but they said that week 1, when we were all standing there watching the Jets Ravens in MetLife Stadium, Flacco throws a pass, it hits Corey Davis in the chest, and he drops it. And I said, that's why he's a piece of shit. And I don't know where that comes from or why those things come out of my mouth, but it's what I have issues with Corey Davis. I do. But we have to remember that it's been a weird, look, quarterbacks and wide receivers, there's a period, there's that rapport that needs to be developed, and catching balls from different guys. Like, you like to think, just shut up and catch the ball. I hear you. I think that as well. But the truth is that every quarterback throws a different ball. Some are hard, some are soft, some, faster. So there's all those timing things. And Corey Davis has played since he's been here with numerous quarterbacks, man. I mean, 4. So, I mean, we got to kind of give him that. When he's played, he's done some nice things. I mean, he really has he's given us some exciting stuff. Now, the injury thing is an issue, but I think what we're not looking at Corey Davis as a number 1 anymore. I think, honestly, we might be looking at Corey Davis as our number 3. Maybe even number 4 if Hardman is the slot. Like, if he might be our 4. Just like with Quan Alexander. Look, Quan Alexander has played 75 to 95% of the snaps when he's been on the field every single year until last year. He has not played a full season since 2016. The Jets had him at 48%. He played 17 games. Maybe if you do something like that with Corey Davis, you have him as a stud number 4. He plays 50% of the snaps or whatever it is, and you get to keep him all year. Aaron Rodgers can make that guy into a hero. And I think that's there's no reason. We have Garrett Wilson, we have Hardman, we have Lazard, and I think we're good, man. I think it's a good mix. I mean, we've certainly trotted out worse onto the damn football field, man.
Harris comes in, says, there are definitely some teams that never really draft a rookie quarterback. They just go and find good veterans. We got our best quarterback since 1969. Yeah, and honestly, our best seasons that we've really had outside of the Mark Sanchez years have all been with veteran quarterbacks. You're talking about Fitzpatrick. You're talking about Brett Favre prior to injury. You're talking about Vinny Testaverde. Like, those were really our best seasons. You had a few years there with Chad getting into the playoffs and whatnot, but by and large, it's been the veteran quarterback that has kind of helped the Jets. And I think part of that is definitely New York City and the expectations with drafting a quarterback really high. Like, now you get to a point where we could theoretically, if Rodgers is here for like 3 years and Zach's not the guy, you could bring in like a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback in that final year of whatever Rodgers is, let him come in nice and slow. The expectations aren't through the roof. And now all of a sudden you get a guy like Mike White who was able to earn his stripes, sit behind, kind of get the respect of his teammates. He wasn't handed the job. I think there's something to be said for having a veteran quarterback in this market in particular.
Hell yeah, man. I think that's an interesting point. I mean, Chad, even when he got in, was here, I think it was his 3rd year. You know what I mean? He was behind Vinny for a minute there. Maybe 2nd. He got in through injury. And you guys remember when Chad got his first start and they did like the pregame introductions and he ran out and he headbutted. He was banging his head. Everybody's like, whoa, calm the hell down. He was out of control. Like, Chad was such a fun guy to watch. And I love Chad Pennington. He was so good, man. Like, if it wasn't for the injuries, I am a believer that Chad would have got us there. Maybe not, but I loved Chad. But yeah, I think every time that we've had any real success, getting to the championship game, we've had Richard Todd was different. But other than Richard Todd, it's been with a vet quarterback. That's kind of what we do. Well, Sanchez too. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm fucking losing my own brain here.
It's weird, right? Like, I feel like when I think of successful seasons, like, I guess Sanchez, I don't really consider the first year of Sanchez as like any kind of, it wound up being a successful season, but like not until we got into the playoffs. Like, it was sort of a weird season, the beginning part of the year. And then backed into the playoffs to the point where like Rex said, we're eliminated from the playoffs. And then we accidentally got in and we're like, now we're going to start winning games.
Sat Peyton and Painter came in. And, we backed in for sure. 2009.
Mumtaz comes in celebrating 35. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right. Mumtaz comes in. He says, do we still target center with pick 43? Some really good players should still be there, like Mazi Smith, 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐧𝐁, Darnell Washington, Sam Laporta, Caudy Monch, Trent Simpson, Steve Avila, and Jack Campbell. Yeah, I don't want to go center in the second round. I'll be honest. I'd much rather plug in players at positions of need right now and go best player available as opposed to going with a position we already have a starter penciled in for. Green Bean, do you kind of fall in that same mindset?
No, I think I'm half and half. Like, I don't feel the need to go. Before we signed Connor McGovern, there was a need for me to do center, to go center there. I don't feel that same need. And I think a Mazi Smith, dude, Mazi Smith is so incredibly strong. It's like, I mean, dude, what a player. And I love 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐽's never going to be there. I also don't think, Steve Avila, Jack Campbell's not going to be there. He might be there in the second, but that's 10 picks into the second round, or 11 picks into the second round. Well, no, 10. So some of those guys aren't going to be there. Darnell Washington, I don't see us going tight end that early. Caudy Monch, dude, if we're not going center, we're not going guard. That's my thought on there. But maybe I would love to come away with Caudy Monch, dude. I'm telling you, I would party like it's 1999, dude. I really would. He's a secret love of mine. But I think it's a great point though, Mumtaz, that maybe we go center if he's the best player. If not, the good news is we don't have to feel like we need to, and we can grab that defensive tackle, that safety, that linebacker, somebody like that, maybe even wide receiver. Maybe somebody slides through that they had as a top 15 pick. Maybe they do that. Maybe Joe Douglas continues his streak of second round wide receivers. And, I don't know. Who knows, but I think it opens up options. So I don't know. We still could, but I think there's definitely a possibility that we go another direction.
So Tom drops in. He's saying, is there a running back in the middle rounds who could fit? Green Bean, are you dialed in at all to running back? Is there a guy that you like? I'll be honest. There's no running back that I'm remotely looking at in this draft. I could understand if someone wanted to go later with one, but.
Yeah, I got to be honest, man. Like, I've chosen not to look at running backs all that deep. Early on, I did. I was looking at some guys. There's I'm not. I'd have to look at my stuff and touch my brain. Touch up real quick. I mean, obviously, already Bijan Robinson. If you had Bijan and Brees, yeah, I hear you, man. But I don't know. I think we're fine. And there are needs. I mean, we have actual holes. We have places that we could fill. And I think running back right now is a luxury. Don't forget, we thought running back was a luxury last year. Don't forget, man. People thought it was nuts to want Breece Hall in the second. We have Michael Carter and all that jazz. And look at us now. So now we have both of them. We have Bam Knight. We re-signed Ty Johnson. Everybody knows how much I love him. How much I've been a firm supporter of Ty Johnson for the last 3 years or 4 years, whatever. I think I don't love the idea of a running back. Like you said, if in the fifth we grab one, okay. If he's the best player on your board, fine. But I think I would brace myself for a tight end before you see a running back. I'm fairly certain we're going to take a tight end in this class. And I did the same thing with tight ends. I purposely didn't dig like I always do, and I didn't talk about it. And I think the Jets are going to grab one, guys. I really do. I think we're going to trade one, maybe during the draft, maybe right after, but I think we're going to grab a tight end. That's what I think.
Red John says, Cynthia Freeland is fire. Yes, the NFL, is the NFL Network or whatever her, she's the analytics woman. Trenton Simpson, Clemson linebacker. I don't know if I feel like going linebacker that high. I think there's a good opportunity for Quan Alexander to come back and for the Jets to possibly look at Sherwood. I don't particularly want linebacker early. How do you feel, Green Bean?
I feel the same way. I mean, I think Sherwood's ready to go. I mean, he's been grooming here. He's a special teams ace. And when he comes on the field, he makes every tackle, man. I mean, he's ready to go. That's what you want to see. You want to draft a guy in the 4th to 6th round, groom him, watch him on specials, let him be really good when he comes in spot duty, makes his presence felt, and then you want him to assume the role as a starter. That's what you want to do. That's the pipeline. That's development. I think Sherwood is ready. That wouldn't preclude me from, from taking a linebacker. But like you said, using a premium pick on a linebacker, he'd have to be leaps and bounds the best player on the board. Because don't forget, I think C.J. Mosley, if you can get, like, just as an example, a Jack Campbell, C.J. Mosley plays one more year, then you can very comfortably allow him to walk, and then you got his heir apparent for the next however many years. So you could, but I think more than likely we'll see a linebacker later.
Yeah, I particularly don't want to go linebacker, at least like someone to replace Mosley right now, because I would like to see Mosley restructure and stay on the team for at least the stretch of time that's Rodgers is here, unless Mosley like completely falls off a cliff or something like that. But yeah, I agree. No premium picks at linebacker. Euphoria says, we've come a long way from speculating Cousins being a Jet. LMAO. What a journey. Now time to get this Super Bowl. Dude, my first video was Kirk Cousins is coming to the New York Jets, and I feel so much better that we can now sit here today and say Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet.
That was your first video, huh?
That was my first video. First thing I made.
love it.
Super awkward and cringy. You can go back and look at it. But
we got to see it. We got to see it. You should play it right now.
I'm not going to do it right now. We still got to burn through a bunch of super chats. So guys, thank you for patiently waiting. We're slowly working our way through this.
I know they're still saying, "Hey, Matt."
Yeah, we're going through there. We're like, wait a second, Matt left an hour ago. Yeah, dude, we got maybe during day 3 of the draft, if we get some dead time after our final pick, we'll throw up the original video and just see like how weird and awkward I was for that first one. That is so good.
It's a good plan. I like that idea. That's good.
Matt drops in, says, just bet someone $100 the Jets make at least the divisional round this year. There you go, Matt. I threw $100 on the Jets winning the Super Bowl. I'm feeling pretty confident about it. I'm beating my chest at work right now. I'm going to talk all my shit I can talk right now because, if things change in season, then I have to change my tune a little bit. But, man, I'm super confident right now. Greenbean, you confident?
I am confident. I wish I have to be honest. There at times like these, I wish I could gamble. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever think about it. Like, I haven't gambled. I think it's coming around 18 years. I think it's about 18 years I haven't gambled, other than like buying a random lottery ticket here and there. But I want so badly to throw 10 grand on the Jets. And that's the problem. That's what I do. I can't just take 100 and go, if I win, I win. I'm like, ooh, so I'm all fucked up. But these are times like these. I wish I could have thrown $100 on the Jets. What were your odds? What'd you get? Were you back in the 2,500?
Yeah, I got it plus 2,500. It was before the Jets were going to fly out and see Rodgers. This was probably a week or I don't know if it was 2 weeks before, but I was like, I think we're gonna get him. I think did they fly out after Carr signed? How did that? I don't remember. My timelines are all jacked up where when Carr wound up signing. But either way, I got it. Yeah. Plus 2,500 is what I got it at. And I'm feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, fantastic. See, that's the thing. I wish I could. I mean, and then it's like, I got to be careful because I want to say to my wife, like, hey, go ahead and put 100, but I'm still gambling. It's still me.
Yeah. It
by
counts.
proxy.
If it's over the pants, does it still count? Yes, it still counts.
It's such a funny thing, man. Did I tell you about the when my wife found a scratch off in like my car? She's like, "Hey, there's a scratch off ticket in the car. You gambling?" And I'm like, "No. What do you mean?" She's like, "There's a Kyle. Are you gambling?" That's why my wife calls me. She doesn't call me Green Bean, if you can believe that. But she says, and I'm like, no. And all I could think of, Ryan, was like, stop. Are you going to scratch it or what? Are you going to scratch this?
So someone's got to scratch it. I don't know who bought it, but like, let me know if we won.
Yeah, I'm like, is it scratched? She's like, it's not scratched. I'm like, you need to scratch that. She's like, I'm going to throw it away. I'm like, you scratch that. That's God. God gave us that thing because I didn't buy it. It was a $2 winner, and I wanted her to go back to the store and get another one. And she's like, I can't do this with you. I'm like, please. I'm sick, dude.
Jesse P drops in. He says, how good will the defense look being on the field less? They're going to look a whole lot better. Not to mention playing with a lead. This defense is built to play with the lead. You got your edge rushers ready to attack the other team's quarterback, and you got your ball hawks behind you with Reed and Sauce and the boys in the secondary. This team was built to play with a lead. When you have, guys running the ball on us all the time, that neutralizes your pass rushers. It takes away your ability to intercept the ball. And we saw that at the beginning of the season. Even though we were playing bad quarterbacks, you saw the effect that the defense could have with a lead. In the back half of the season, clearly we had a little bit of tougher schedule, but we couldn't get a lead, and now all of a sudden you weren't seeing those turnovers. You weren't seeing the interceptions like we saw at the beginning part of the season. So yeah, I am very, very much happy with where we're headed here. Nosekill says, thought it would have been best for both teams to trade during the first or second round, depending on what's available at 13, 15, 42. Gonna be so much whining about losing whoever goes at 13 or 14. I'll have to close my ears and I don't know if that's cry or laugh. Either way.
But look at the symbol he used, Ryan.
I saw that. I was gonna bring it up. We haven't shown.
You should.
Should I show it?
I think you should.
I think it's a good time to do it. Let me see if I can figure it out.
It's Kismet.
It's on my desktop. Hold on. Let me see if I could find a good one. I think it's in my downloads folder. Uno momento.
So what Ryan's talking about. So Nose Skills, you inadvertently and organically landed on something that we were intending to show you guys tonight, which is the new Talkin' Jets t-shirt. Well, we put a lot of work in. Ryan's been working really hard on it, man. It's been a few weeks.
It's got to be close to a month now at this point. We're going back and forth with the artwork, trying to get everything just right. And someone's going to win this shirt tonight. But here, I got it right here. This is the front.
First ever, right? This is the first ever shirt.
This is the first one that Talkin' Jets is actually doing. So here's what it's going to look like. Let me see if did I pull that up? Bam. So these are the, okay, it's not the final one, but it's close enough. We got our see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys. Bam.
That's right.
And then on the back, that's the front.
Can you tell who's who, everybody?
Yeah, I don't know who's who. And then let's see if I could get this one to, I think it's this one right here. And then on the back of the shirt, bam, you got our numbers that we like, our names on the back. So that's going to be coming up in the not so distant future. All the t-shirts we're going to be giving away. You guys will see some really cool designs coming up, and we are looking forward to having some fun with it.
Isn't that awesome, guys? Look at that stuff. That's amazing.
Second to none. We're just a couple of monkeys hanging out, with our bananas. Oh, that sounds weird.
That's right. There are bananas. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
Where's my little banana? Here, my little banana. Here, there he goes. Look at him go across the screen. Mr. Peels. Glad to see you.
Mr. Peels. There he is.
Gotham Green comes in and says, Green Bean said Joe Douglas is looking to move back. What do we think the cost is, Green Bean? That was your inside source that was telling you that.
Well, they didn't tell me the cost because we don't have the trade yet, right? Like that's the stuff that's not going to leak out at Joe Douglas's house. But what I can say, I can speculate for you if you'd like. Depends on how far we're going back. I think if Joe Douglas goes back into the 20s, he can get, you can get a second. I mean, look, especially if like a quarterback slips or one of these premium guys slips to 15. He can get a second this year and next year, I think. Why not?
So point-wise, a second-round pick is roughly in the 400s or so. Pick 15, we're sitting at roughly 1,000 points. It's 1,050. So you're looking about having to move down probably to the mid-20s and maybe picking up some additional picks because you got to get a premium when someone's coming up in the draft pick. We were talking about that last night. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but I think it depends on what player is on the board for sure. The U comes in and says, what are your thoughts about the XFL refereeing procedures? I love the rules and the transparency. What rule from the XFL would you bring to the NFL this year? So I actually have not been watching the XFL, so I cannot talk intelligently on it. Yeah, there were some really cool rules that were added to the XFL think during the COVID year. Was that the year that they had the XFL and it wound up getting canceled because of everything? Like they had to do like no fans and stuff. I don't know what their new rules are or if anything has really changed, but I know they had some really interesting stuff as far as I think it was onside kicks, the point after, where it was like 3 different potential points. I don't know what's going on with the refereeing, so if anyone in the chat can give us a little insight into how the refereeing works there, I would be very interested into seeing how that goes. I do like transparency when it comes to that sort of stuff because there's so much like, oh, the Patriots always get all these calls and, you know, all that good jazz. So I'd love to see what happens.
So what, they actually have like an accountability system for the refs?
I guess that's what it sort of seemed like. I don't know actually how that goes. It looks like 35-second play clock is what some people are saying. 3 timeouts per half. That's what we got already. Every play is reviewed live. I do like that. 3 overtime tries. That's pretty cool. You can challenge any play. I do think it's weird that you can't challenge, like, okay, that was clearly like an oops. Like we all know it. Like the roughing that roughing call in the NFC Championship game that cost the Saints the Super Bowl bid that year. Like that should have been able to be reviewed. Like, I'm sorry if it's like a blatant, like, okay, they screwed it up. Like let's go to a vote across all referees, across all the NFL, and those are the guys that make the cumulative decision on everything. So that way it's not just one guy throwing a flag. I think that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. I think that would be, I know, why pick which plays can be, that can't be reviewed? Why not? Well, because we want the ref just to be able to make a decision and not be challenged. Those roughing the passer things, I mean, obviously the NFL is putting forth an effort to call those. I mean, clearly, except against the Jets being the only team who didn't draw one roughing the passer penalty, even though our quarterbacks were getting destroyed all year. I think that's a little bit weird. I mean, look, we lost the Patriots game because of it, in my opinion. It was it shouldn't have. We still had the rest of the second half, and it shouldn't have, but it did. That was the nail in the coffin. They were done, and they just decided, take it back, take away our pick 6, and I don't think that should be allowed. That we should be able to look at that and go, dude, he touched him, put his hand on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Like that's not roughing the passer. Well, they don't want to do that. So I think it's bullshit too. I'd love to see some of that stuff adopted.
Mr. Downtown comes in, should we buy number 8 jersey with new ones rumored in 2024? Ooh, I didn't know we had new jerseys possibly rumored. I knew you had to wait 5 years to make the change. I would like to see us alter the jerseys a little bit. They don't necessarily have to go crazy redesign, but I would like to see it switched up a little bit. I think I'm not a huge fan of the font of the numbers or of the I don't really like the arrows kind of coming across, I guess.
What are they supposed to be, wings?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think they're supposed to be wings, everybody. Are you happy about our wings? I hate those things. I like stripes. Football is stripes.
I'm a big stripe. This is my favorite jersey that it was the one that I've grown up with for 20 years or whatever. Totally. I mean, I remember my favorite logo is still the one that's in my channel, the like 80s, 90s kind of swoosh logo. Love that one.
Yeah, I like that, but I associate a lot of bad football. Like a lot of people forget all that. Like when we changed it, it was a very welcome change. And I'm with it too. I like the logo itself. I don't like the matte Kelly green that we had at the time. But the one you're wearing, that to me, that's the stuff. The white helmets, whenever you look at great Jets football outside of the sack exchange, it's those uniforms. Some variation of it. And that's what I think we should go back to. We should just be that, stick with it. No reason to upgrade. White helmets, quarterback sees it better, do the whole thing. And but take the white helmet and put that 80s, 90s logo on it. It was badassery. I would love it. That.
𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐳 comes in and says, with Aaron wanting more around him with the new deal, do we go after a wide receiver like Landry, maybe trade a future 4th for D-Hop? But Cobb seems to be following soon. I'd rather get more on D like Puna, Ford, or Amos. Yeah, I do think it would be interesting to see how does it, I don't know. I have a very hard time seeing that this new contract could be more favorable than $15 million against the salary cap this year. Like, I don't know how much room the Jets are realistically going to be able to create this year. And maybe there's a little bit next year and you're pushing salary cap into future years and you're going to work out a bunch of void years and whatnot. If that's the case, look, go all in. I don't mind sacrificing, 2025 or 2026, whatever it is, with a bunch of dead cap if it means we're going all out right now for a Super Bowl while you have Aaron Rodgers. I think you put all the chips in the middle of the table. I just don't know if you necessarily have to spend on a receiver. I do like bringing in Cobb, and then I do agree with bringing in someone for the secondary. I like Amos a lot. Someone, I want to see Quan be brought back. What do you think? You think we want to add some more weapons?
Well, I think that came out today about Quan. I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like McGovern and Quan, like they were excited to go out there and get a big payday, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So if it's all things are equal, you go back to where you've been. I mean, if you can, so that would be interesting. As far as like bringing in Cobb, and I mean, that would be fine. You know what I mean? Kind of have Cobby around for Rodgers. I don't know. I think a guy like Poona Ford, I like Poona Ford. I think he's developmental in many ways. But I mean, I think, that's the thing with look, when we have 4th, 5th, 6th round picks, stuff like that, like you have to remember, like most of the time those guys are going to take a minute, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't hit on everybody right away. You got to give those guys 2 years, 3 years sometimes, and they make a minimal impact. I think the good news is our general manager, like I said earlier, has shown at least he's placed a value on those. Like those are just as valuable as the upper picks. Like he knows there are players to be found there. There are guys, there's talent to be had there. They might have a little bit of rough around the edges. They might need something to work on, which is why you don't use a 1st or 2nd or whatever. But you can still find amazing players in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. And I think Poona Ford's going to be maybe down there. But wide receivers, I think we're going to bring one more in for sure. I mean, I think we have a spot, so bring them in. But I don't know how many more resources we're really going to use on it. Big money or high draft picks or anything. Maybe, but I'd be surprised.
Mutt Viles drops in, says, Sexy Rexy getting real flexy with the Jets bomber in the ring. I love it. Let's enjoy this season because we'll be in the playoffs. Can't wait for draft party stream on Thursday. Love you guys. Mutt Viles, we love you too. Dude, I can't wait for the draft stream. For you guys in the chat that have not joined us on the draft day stream, it is an absolute blast for 18 hours I think we stream over the course of those 3 days, or 20 hours. It's absolutely bonkers. And we have so many guests coming on too. Got some great giveaways. Ooh, Green Bean, I got that putter we're going to be giving away too. I got a jet green spider putter with JETS etched on the inside of it.
That's amazing.
It's sitting in my car right now. I gotta bring it upstairs. I should have brought it up for tonight. Could have shown it.
Yeah, you should have, but it's okay. But we might be giving away some. I was talking to Manscaped today. They might want to give some stuff away too. So we might have all kinds of fun stuff. We're giving away jerseys too, right? Didn't you say that?
Yep. Yeah, we're giving away at least one jersey a day for each one of the days that we're there, and then we're gonna do some t-shirt giveaways too. Get some of those monkey shirts we got.
That's right. Monkey shirts, jerseys, putters, and good old-fashioned good times. That's what we do. That's what we're good at. Good times.
Love it. Jet Engine drops in again. He says Rodgers has had a chip since his draft media was trash. Rodgers has had a chip since he was passed over at 1. I think that's what he's saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it simmers down, and then he gets re-fired up. It's like he gets pissed off, and he does great things.
Dude, if we get a league MVP for what we gave up, and we get a Super Bowl with this defense, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna be living on that cloud 9 the rest of my life.
Totally, man. Well, he's gonna be fighting with Sauce. Sauce wants one. Remember, he said, I guess I got to win league MVP. It's like, okay. All right, man, go for it, kid. Go do it. But
Sam drops in. He says, best thing to do is draft a wide receiver. Flowers or Hyatt, JD can draft another right tackle down the draft. there's a large part of me that really feels like Joe Douglas should be able to hit on an offensive lineman outside of the first round. But at the same time, I still feel so like concerned, and I feel like it's such an important need that I don't want to risk the lower percentage chance of hitting on a guy in a later round. I'd much rather take the guy at the top part of the draft. Is there any part of you that would want to take a receiver over maybe a right tackle earlier in the draft?
No, I don't want one. If we do, I'm not going to be broken up about it. I got to see. Again, I think it's important. I learned this last year. It's important to wait and see what he's got going on, right? We didn't know Joe Douglas was calling every single team in the NFL. While I was pissing and moaning, right? So, I think there is patience and see what the whole thing looks like, but I don't want to see a receiver that high. I think we're Studley and we have holes. Again, we have real concerns, and I'd rather see us go that way.
Michael drops in and says, Hard Knocks? No. Or who cares? Let's enjoy the show. Yeah, I'm going to eat my popcorn. I'm going to watch us on Hard Knocks because there's no way the Jets are not getting Hard Knocks. We're going to get an inside look into all these star players and our franchise and everything like that. And you're going to get a little bit of a different spin than you get with the One Jets Drive stuff. The One Jets Drive stuff is absolutely fantastic. And it has held it's kept my palate wet since the Hard Knocks days. But man, HBO has an entire another level of production, and there's not so much of a bias that we kind of see in the One Jets Drive stuff, which I appreciate it being a Jets fan, but I think the more objective look with the Hard Knocks and all the extra spice that comes with it, that's exciting.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I know a lot of fans don't.
Every word you said, don't get me wrong, it would be must watch. I would consume it like it was a big bowl of spaghetti. I would be inhaling it. At the same time, it's a distraction, man. But we had one of our best years with Hard Knocks. Maybe it's good luck. I don't know. If it's on, I'll watch it, but I'm kind of hoping that we don't get it. But they're definitely going to get it. I mean, it's too much going on over here. It's
the Bears, the Commanders, the Jets. Who is the other team? There's a fourth team thrown in there too, right?
Let's do the Commanders. Everybody loves them.
Oh, yeah, like the Bears are the only other team that like might sort of be like interesting, but Rodgers being here, spotlight, we got the playoff drought, like everything that's gone, offensive, defensive rookie of the year. You got the two guys going into the Hall of Fame. There's no way it's not going to be the Jets. Ron drops in. He says, can we go to the press conference? Let's go. Yeah, I wish I could be there. We got the 2:00 press conference tomorrow. I got work, so I can't even watch it live, so I'm a little irritated by that. Whatever. I'm looking forward to this whole introductory press conference.
My daughter went on a camping trip. I dropped her off today. She's gone till Friday. I have no obligations. Like tomorrow's the first day in years. It feels like anyway. That's mine. Ooh. I'm going to suck up more Jet shit. I'm going to just hang. I'm going to be doing live streams. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be sucking it up, man. I'm telling you, it's like, I can't wait till tomorrow. 2:00 press conference. I'm there.
I love it. I'll be tuning in from work. I'll have it on have it on my desk. Josh hops in. He says, without even taking a snap, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback in Jets history. Way better than overrated Namath and his mediocre career. Can't wait. Great show, Jets. I have this discussion with my Giants fan friend Dan from time to time, and it's because Namath and his stats, when looked back on right now, are really not fantastic, cumulatively. Like we had the 4,000-yard season, and that one 4,000-yard season in a 14-game season is very impressive. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I understand it. I think Rodgers is definitely going to break all our single season records. But look, Namath did something that, other quarterbacks just couldn't do. If the Jets didn't win that Super Bowl, the NFL wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to combine the AFL and NFL. So, it's Namath is more than just his stats, I think, and what he meant to the game.
That's right. I mean, look, Josh, with all due respect, Namath, he's got his problems. But don't forget, he had a 4,000-yard season in 14 games. He was so big of a character, so important to the NFL as a whole, that he's the only quarterback that made it into the Hall of Fame with more interceptions than touchdowns. His teams were shit. He had terrible knees. He played through them. He was a warrior, but he quite literally was he was the largest figure on a team that saved the NFL, dude. Saved it. The AFL was a crumbling franchise. By the way, our owner, Sonny Werblin, was the guy who arranged the TV deal with the AFL that was losing. We're hemorrhaging money. He still put together a TV deal that saved the AFL, which made it able for the merger to happen. The entire AFC wouldn't exist without our owner and Joe Namath. So you can't forget that. Hold on. He's so relevant, Josh, that when you go to the Hall of Fame, they have a premier attraction. They have all the busts and all the stuff, and you can see all the shit. And then there's a big flagship attraction called the NFL Locker Room. And you go in there and you sit down and you watch and you wait, and then the lights go down, and who walks out on the stage but hologram Joe mother effing Namath? Because still to this day, he hasn't played a snap of football since 1977. He hasn't won a damn thing since 1969. And he's still the guy that they trot out in front of the entire NFL fandom because he's the biggest star in the NFL. He's the legend of legends. And that's what we got to forget. So take that blasphemy out of your damn mouth, Josh. You can't talk like that around here. There you go. That's what I got for you, Josh.
You know what I got to say, Green Bean? I want to kiss you.
That's so good.
Ryan.
That was perfect, man.
Oh, Ryan King drops in. He says, we need to tie up Connor McGovern's marbles like they do bulls before bull riding so McGovern protects our quarterback. Dude, that was the one thing about McGovern that like really got me fired up was like, dude, someone puts hands on your quarterback. I don't care about the flag. Start throwing fists, start shoving guys, like get in someone's face. No one touches your quarterback.
I agree 100%, man. Like whenever we're looking at like offensive linemen, free agents and shit, I always look at their penalties, right? Like how many penalties? So good. Oh, he gets too many penalties. And you look at what kind of penalties. Is it offsides? Is he an idiot? Can he knock him? Or is it like roughing penalty? I like offensive linemen when they get those kinds of flags because it's usually letting the defensive lineman know we're not playing that shit today. And it's usually protecting the quarterback, something like that. Those are the guys you want. And that's a rub with McGovern. It really is, man. I mean, especially, and if he starts doing it for Rodgers, I guess it's a positive. But why didn't you do it for Zachy Poo? Why didn't you do it for Mike White? You know what I mean? It's bullshit. I'm just not that kind of guy, man. I just don't like to fight. No, we need somebody who's an animal. That's what you want up front.
𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐳. He drops in, he says, what rules would you guys want to remove or rewrite? So I hate the onside kick rule. I don't like the way you have to line up now. I don't like the percentage chance that is so astronomically small. At this point, I would like to see like a 4th and 15 be the onside kick. And if you convert the 4th and 15, then you just continue with a first down and you continue to march down the field. I would like to get rid of the onside kick. I would go so far as to say I'm fine with getting rid of kickoffs as well. It's more of a symbolic thing than anything else. You kick it through the uprights and you trot back out onto the 25. Just put the ball in the 20 or the 25-yard line. Let's start the game from right there. If you want to do one of those onside kicks, make it a 4th and 15, and then you figure it out from there. But I've lost a lot of love for my favorite play in the game because of how they've kind of neutered the kickoffs and whatnot. Is there a rule you'd like to see change, Green Bean?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I've complained about it probably too many times, quite frankly. I hate what they've done in the kickoff. It's an exciting aspect of the game that we love, and like neutered. What a great word to use for it. I mean, really, I mean that sincerely. It's like they've kind of just taken the balls. Right, I throw them in the garbage. You know, it's a sad thing. I'd love to see them reinstate that. The XFL that was one thing I was trying to think about it before. The XFL had a good solution to that, if I remember correctly. I'd like to see them maybe change that because it's important, man. It's like you can't just kind of have this humdrum back and forth. And like you said, it's kind of symbolic. It's pretty much a touchback. And it's like, and then they moved it to the 25. Like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, can we just stop already? I'd like to see a lot of the things that we changed undone. That's what I'd go for, 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞. Let's go back to the hard hitting days. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, maybe you see. I mean, if they want to do like a kickoff to start each half, and then after that, it's different. So that way you still get that initial kickoff in the Super Bowl with all the flashes going and all the like that's always a cool photo to see.
Right. Yeah.
NY Jets.
Go on. I'm
sorry. NY Jets fan forever says, go get Davante Adams. I have no idea how that could possibly work and still leave the Jets with salary cap space. The Raiders gave up so much and gave him such a big contract, and they just got Jimmy G. But like, I can't see them just completely clipping their wings of talent, especially after losing Darren Waller.
Yeah, I agree. And I think look, he already, McDaniels already botched the entire Derek Carr thing. Make no mistake, even if you didn't want him and even if it's okay to move on from him, dude, they could have gotten a pick for him, at least. They got nothing. Like, you want to talk about a bad move. You can say what you want about Joe Douglas or the Packers or whatever. Dude, Josh McDaniels had a franchise quarterback. He had a consistently 4,000-yard passer, plays every game, the whole thing. And he got nothing for him. That is complete mismanagement. They're not doing the same thing with Davante Adams, dude. They're going to keep him, and they're going to make sure that, dude, they're going to do everything they can to make Josh McDaniels' choice to go back to one of his own quarterbacks, Jimmy G. They're going to make his decision right the best they can. He's not going anywhere, in my opinion.
Mr. Downtown says Green Bean should get Athletic Greens as the draft sponsor. I don't know what Athletic Greens are.
Oh, you don't?
No, what is that?
They're really good. They taste like Fruity Pebbles, by the way, but it's like a really potent high. It's very, very highly concentrated nutrition. You just pour it in a water bottle and blast it back. It's green. It does. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, it's Joe Rogan supports. He's a big fan. But the thing is, with like those big brands like that, they don't want to talk to me. Believe me, I tried. They're like, who? Get the fuck out of here.
Who's this guy?
Liquid IV.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, once we get this Talkin' Jets channel up and running, we'll get all those big fish maybe.
That's right. They'll come a knocking. I got like, hey, do you want to? We have these workout straps. You want to promote these workout straps? I'm like, dude, I got breasts. I'm not gonna fucking promote your workout straps. What are you talking about?
Do you get the spam emails from they're like, oh, hey, do you want to, we want to pitch our developmental app or game on your channel? I was like, that has nothing to do with my channel. This is purely scamming and phishing and me just trying to
we love your work. Your channel's perfect for our accounting software. I'm like, oh.
Insert your username right here. And
yeah, I mean, I get all these things, like, hey, we'll send you a free $10,000 drone. I'm like, yep, goodbye.
It's like, I don't know if that's real. A lot of times you'll see it almost looks like it was copy and pasted, and the formatting. I mean, sure, it probably was. It's probably some bot or whatever. Silly stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, and all those, I saw a whole thing. A lot of those are viruses. Like, they're trying to get us. Don't even click it. If you see it, man, it's just don't even click on it.
Yep. They're hoping they're going to get the guys that think, oh, this is great. I have to do it. This is my shot. And then you click on it, and then all of a sudden your bank account's drained. And, oh, we just need your social security number and mother's maiden name and your first pet's name, where you went to high school. All the security questions.
It's exactly right. Crazy.
Joe M.
Dangerous.
Joe M. He hops in. He says Sauce would have to break the single season interception record to be the league MVP. He still might need a couple of sacks as well. Yeah, I think it's really tough to get Defensive Player of the Year. If Revis didn't get it the year that he had, I have a very hard time. I mean, again, it still went to a that was Defensive Player of the Year. It wasn't even an MVP, right?
It went to, that was, dude, they gave it to him out of respect for his whole career. That was bullshit. They gave it to Charles Woodson, who's a great player. But like Rex said he came out, remember that? And he said, I'm going to give you a number. The number's 7. He said, no, I'm not talking about the number of touchdowns we gave up through the air all year. We're talking about the number of touchdowns the Green Bay defense gave up last week. And that's the guy that won. Defensive player. He was pissed, man.
Mhm.
Revis should have won it. That's why it's bullshit how they work. It's like a favoritism thing.
Oh, 100%.
But it's going to be hard for Sauce. Point taken, Joe.
I completely agree. And we went the 20 minutes over. This was fun though. Thoroughly enjoyed this.
Just fucking keep
Went
going,
quick.
man.
We gotta pick. You know what? Here, do you have your list of guys?
I
on
do.
there?
I have. It's like there's a lot tonight, man. Let me see.
All right. I'm gonna try and you look up how many we have there. I'm gonna go over to the Talkin' Jets draft trailer. I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna grab 7 names. Or no, we'll grab 8. We'll grab 8 for Rodgers. Rodgers. Let's see. You know what's funny? I'm looking through all this, and meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Nightbot has spit out the link, and I could just click on it in the chat. Yep, that's all I needed to do. It's funny because since we're not posting over there yet, it doesn't really pop up in like when I search. It only pulls up like our current streams and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So it kind of throws things for a little loop when I'm trying to search for stuff. All right, I'm gonna scroll. All right, you got ready to write down some names?
All right, I got 55. Wait, I got one more here. So Slago, you're already in there. I got to get. So I'm gonna have 56 in here.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you. Are you ready to write down or no?
Yeah, I'm ready to write down.
All right, we got Rob Broadhead.
Oh yeah, Rob Broadhead.
We're gonna go Lawrence Rubin.
Oh yeah, Lawrence Rubin.
We're gonna go Sports 001.
Yeah, Sports 001.
Oh, you recognize that name, don't you? We're gonna go. I love this name. Balls Be Hurtin'.
That's right. He's good. Hey, balls.
Such a great name. Let's see. Let me give it one quick swipe. Do a little slide down. We'll go Alfonso Stackhouse.
Ooh, very strong name, Alfonso. Well done.
Right?
Stackhouse.
All right. Throw some random numbers in between whatever your count was for the normal guys, and let's add the guys that we just added, so that way they're not like 57, 58, 59, 60. Let's sprinkle them somewhere in between.
Yeah, I do that actually.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah,
I
I throw them. Yeah, I do that. Because it doesn't change anything. But I hear you. Like it's
Yeah,
gonna
I guess
pick
it's the same odds either way. I guess it's not
It
like we
is.
weigh anything differently.
Yeah, it is. It's very much organic. Everybody, like I listen to the randoms. Like I do it honestly, unless it's BYU fan who is qualified today. I refuse to let you in. I'm just kidding. If it was you,
I also don't think I read off. I was gonna say I also don't think I read off 8 names. I think I read off 5.
Yeah, 5. You give me 5.
All right, let's keep going here. We got Alex the Fan.
All right.
We've got the Woz, WOZ.
Oh, the Waz. All right. The Wozy Wazy.
And let's go with Andrew. I'll spell the last name. GRZANKA.
Grezinka?
Something like that. All right. What's the how many do we have total?
Let me see. 56. Hold on. 57, 58, 59, 61, 2, 3, 4. 64. No, that can't. Yeah, 64. That's right.
All right, we got 64 in the random number generator. Let me share my screen. That is not the right window.
64, you dudes and chicks.
Boom. All right, let's stretch this out here. All right. So random number generator, here we go. Number
Let's see
15.
who it is. 15. Should I go from the bottom or the top, Ryan?
Ooh. First person to say top or bottom in the chat. That's the direction we'll go.
There it is.
Be a top, says
Top.
𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞
Oh,
Lake.
bottom. Oh, be a top. 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 Lake wins. All right, so we'll go from the top. All right, so 15, right? Oh. That's not right. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 50. It is our friend 𝐒𝐵OOGIE tonight.
Ooh, 𝐒𝐵OOGIE.
𝐒𝐵OOGIE, the winner. There it is.
Hit me up, jetstalk247@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Let me get your information, your shipping address. You're going to get one of our Talkin' Jets monkey shirts that we're oh so excited to share with everyone. Very, very excited.
Yeah, 𝐒𝐵OOGIE, this is the first ever shirt. You're getting the first one, dude. It's incredible.
I love it. This is an absolute staple. And actually, officially, today, Green Bean Matt and I officially became Talkin' Jets LLC.
That's right. That's today. That's official today. Talkin' Jets LLC. That's right.
Makes me feel good.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Congratulations to you, too. And congratulations to Matt. It has been a lot of fun.
It has. This is good.
If you guys have not subscribed to youtube.com/@TalkinJets, make sure you head over there because we are going to start doing all our Talkin' Jets stuff there come July. So it's no longer going to live on this channel. It's going to have its own separate channel where we can have all our fun together. But boys and girls, we have reached the end of our stream. Green Bean, talk to me. Anything you got going on? What do you want to say?
I am gonna do it. I'm gonna do because I don't know if I can do these anymore. So I'm gonna do an after hours Jets Fest tonight. I'm pushing it to 10:15 so I can actually maybe go visit the facilities before because it's 10:30 now. So I gotta do. But so yeah, man, everybody just give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most. We'll hop on over to Green Bean and we'll talk some Aaron Rodgers if you guys want. Maybe we'll talk about pizza. Who knows?
I love it. Boys and girls, we have our draft stream coming up Thursday. We are all sorts of excited. You guys should be tuning in with us for every pick. You're going to be able to see the picks on screen. You're going to see our reactions when all the crazy stuff happens. Not just the Jets picks. I mean, how many crazy picks have we seen over the last 4 years? We're like, what did they do? And then we have all these discussion points and the chat's lighting up. They're like, I can't believe the Patriots just took this guy that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Feels
That
good.
was fun. That's one of the best moments. That's one of the best clips. Do you have that clip?
I think I timestamped it on the last stream. I'm going to have to look at it.
I have it. I'll send it over to you.
Oh, it's so great.
It's funny.
Just completely dumbfounded. It was a receiver, I think, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
What'd they do?
What did you're like? Wait, what? Something happened.
I'm so confused. All right. Boys and girls, who won the trade? We had 1,100 votes on our poll question. Jet fans and the Jets won the trade. I don't know. I don't know what else I expected in a Jet live stream for 2 hours. It seems like it probably checks a lot of boxes here. But boys and girls, it has been a lot of fun hanging out with you. Thank you so much for wasting your time on us. We greatly appreciate it. Misery loves company. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.
I think every single person in this locker room is a competitor at the highest level. So, yeah, when you feel as if your backs are against the wall, you never have to feel like you got to do it by yourself.
Unbelievable throw. Under pressure. Sacked by Quentin Williams. Right sideline, Gonzalez got it.
You look to your left and your right, you got guys out there with you that our whole point is to help each other.
This one to Mims. That's Corey Davis climbing the ladder.
to be able to go out and lead these guys, just to know how hard these guys work and how important it is to them, and then you get that chance to lead them. Everything that happened that needed to happen for us, it almost felt like kind of like a sign, like get like a second chance almost.
Gets extra pushes, running left.
Maybe a little extra life breathing in the locker room.
Touchdown Jets.